June in the building. Shout out to June, man. How you guys doing? Alright, so did I send this to myself a while ago? I sure did. Let me see. Alright. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Alright. Oh yeah, I just said that to myself. And this one, yeah, I sent this one to myself. Hi guys, hello, how you doing? How you doing? Good night. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in. Somebody calling me. Hello? Yeah. Alright, me there woman. No, me not go on the road again. Me not do no something. Done it that years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I'm live right now on YouTube, on TikTok. No man, you're good man, nobody now here. I just I tell you, so me just go live a while ago. Mm. Say that again? Oh no man, me good man. Me good man. Me good man, me good, me good. No sir. Mm-mm. No sir. Me not do nothing like that again. Just home. You see me? Think you're good though. Alright. Oh. Oh, they ain't go up to see me because them boy up there. Them boy up there see me, man. You see them, you them where they did it when they did it. Like in the I know say such man pass away though. Virgin, the big man who used to work with me. Biggest man, the oldest man who used to work with him passed away last month. No man, I talk about in terms of directly in my department. You know who me I talk, man. I just me don't want to say it on the live, you understand? Because I'm on the live, you can hear me. But man, I say the biggest man who did there in my department. The oldest man who come see. Yes. Yeah man, last month he passed away. Yeah man. Yeah, for real. That's what I say? Yeah. No sir. Yeah, no. That is it. That is it. No, sir. Not like that. I never really have it like that level there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Alright. Blessings. Alright, people. Good night. Welcome to the platform. How you guys doing? First thing I want to play. Let me see. We have Florence in the building, Angela, Legris, Mary, Lizzie, and we have June. And on TikTok, let me see the persons we have on TikTok. Good night, TikTok. We have Yardman, Angela, Edwards, we have Junior, and we have Prince. Good night. If you're new to the platform, consider joining the membership. I mean, whatever that means, the join button, and double tap the screen. All right. Now, of course, the PMP is trending, but we are in a season right now, and I'm somebody that don't celebrate holidays, and not celebrating holidays. I think I'm on to something where that is concerned because somehow, George, good night. Somehow, pagans have hijacked. What you say? Sassy say, add me until she fall asleep. Same thing. But let me play this now from the apostle. Shut the word. Let me just turn this down to the lowest decimal. Let me can turn it down to.
Easter. What is Easter? Easter is a pagan festival.
Mighty God.
Worship of Satan. Worship of the god called Ishtar. That's why it's Easter. Ishtar. No wonder the Church of the Living, those who claim to be Church of the Living God power. Huh?
Hey, big up Ardeen. How you doing, Ardeen? How many of you guys knew that about Easter? Like I said, I don't celebrate any holidays. Like, none of them. My birthday is in the region of Christmas, and I don't celebrate Christmas. Alright, so
We're talking about burnt out in church. How can you burn out serving the Lord? You can't burn out. The Bible tells us that when you wait upon the Lord, you will renew your strength. You shall mount up with wings as eagle.
Like
you
eagles.
shall run and not be weary. Walk and not faint. And you're talking about burnout?
True. That's true. That's what the word says. You shall walk.
That means you are not rightly aligned.
And not faint. Teach me, Lord.
So the feast days are strategically positioned along the journey of life, and God has instituted them as moments of refreshing. Say refreshing.
Refreshing.
Moments of reflection. Say reflection.
Reflection.
Yes, refreshing, reflection, regeneration. Say regeneration.
Regeneration.
Restoration.
Restoration.
Because the journey is long.
Mm-hmm.
And so he deliberately set them along the journey of life. And as you move from one to the other, yes, each time you are refreshed. So that you can go the extra mile, and you keep going and going. When you're almost run out, and sometimes you run out, the next pit stop, which is another feast day, is there to refresh you.
Hi, Doreen.
And the Roman Catholic Church many years ago, over a century ago, they were the ones who pulled the church away, and the rest have followed behind them like they don't have any sense. Listen, listen. All these other festivals that they have put together and have put forward for the church, they are not of God. Easter is not of God. You talk about Lent. What is Lent? Where in the Bible you see Lent? Where in the Bible you see Ash Wednesday? Talk to me. Huh?
Very interesting.
Where in the Bible you see Good Friday?
Mighty
That's
God.
another story. I'm not even touching that one.
My goodness.
You come up with these fancy names and they sound good. But when you begin to do your different investigation, you realize that things don't add up. Let me ask you a question. If Jesus really was crucified on Good Friday, how is it you get 3 days and 3 nights? Tell me how you count that. I don't want to start any trouble, you know. I really don't want to start any trouble. But I'm just saying, if you really step back and examine many of the traditions that the churches have taken on to themselves.
Selvanev, big up yourself. You see, you tuned in now, fell asleep on previous night. Selvanev, if you fall asleep and this thing still run same way, that means the live run same way while you fall asleep. You're a top supporter. Big up yourself. I like your badge beside your name. Big up Selvanev, one of my members and one of my moderators, alright? Big shout out to all of my members them. And big shout out to my moderator them too. Angela, how you doing? Good night. Bless you. And if you're not subscribed to the platform, if this is your first time, my name is Bolo VNR on YouTube and on TikTok as well. I am live on TikTok right now. And I want to say shout out to all the viewers, shout out to all the supporters. No, Selvanev, you know, listen, I appreciate every single person, even if you watch 5 minutes of the video. Big up on yourself. You see, all the people who watch all of my video every single minute, uno dey on the top of the list of my special. Uno dey in my prayer list. Yo, God bless you. You understand what I say? Because uno never did have to do that. Bolo, that man is an offshoot pastor. Breakaway. No. Mary Lizzie, do not follow the hype or the propaganda around Pastor Apostle Jeffrey Shuttleworth. The man is on point, yeah? Yeah, man. Don't follow the propaganda. He is on point. Alright? Trust me. Go do one research about what him I say. And looking at the Bible about what him I say. Pastor Shuttleworth is on point. No look a joke about that. Alright? Remember me tell you that. What about my computer? What is this? What is happening? Why is my computer doing that? Hold on, man. Something, alright? Wow, why first time that happened? No, it actually shut down access denied. You don't have permission to access TikTok? Huh? What the hell is going on? You know what? I'm gonna move on from that. That's the second link that said that. I'm gonna move on. Because the actual video was done already. Why don't I have access to TikTok? Did they shut me out of TikTok? But I am live on TikTok right now. Why I don't have access to it? That don't make no sense.
A new COVID variant
See,
raising some
I'm on
concerns
TikTok.
here as it spreads.
I'm on TikTok right now. Is there an alright? So hold on. Let me go to my other page to see if I don't have access to TikTok.
Across the U.S.
So I'm on my next page. This is my backup page. I don't have a strike. There's no reason for me to have a strike. See?
Stop posting boring pictures.
See, I don't have a strike, so I don't understand that. Carl, what are you doing? Yeah, man, tap up the screen for me, guys. Help me with my live goal. Hold on, let me pin that real quick. Pin the live goal real quick. Yeah, alright, there you go.
St. James Westmoreland. I don't. Happy Sunday. I love it, right, Auntie?
Alright, I'm gonna come on for that. Alright, so I don't know what's going on with TikTok. I don't know what's happening. Okay. No, I'm on TikTok, I'm good. Let me see something. You know, who we not check on how long? What side I want to come to talk about me, see her, yeah? Mama London. Me hear what she a say. Oh, she play, Mama London play this.
No. If I have any girlfriend in politics. If I have any girlfriend in politics.
Oh, no, man, a Pastor Peter Jim, a Pastor Jeffrey Shuttleworth, man. Yeah, man.
Rosie, I myself go back a very long way, very, very long way. And during my challenges and low moments, I always relied on the loyalty and honesty of Rosie. A very frank and straightforward person.
Hold on there. I hope you hear that, Big Mama. That Andrew Holness said he always relied on the honesty and loyalty of Rosie.
If I have any girlfriend in politics.
Yo.
All right. So let us listen again.
If I have
In terms of the Prime Minister vouching for Rosie loyalty and honesty.
Yeah.
no.
Cornelius
If I have
Wagwan.
any girlfriend in politics.
Hold on, what you say?
If I have any girlfriend in politics. No. If I have any girlfriend.
Jamaica, it's full time now for us that this Prime Minister will call himself 1 p.m. liar thief in Bro Devil don't give a shit about the Jamaican people. No. Reggae boy.
Hold on there. Cornelius said Petrojam again. Boy, Cornelius. We're going to go in it, you know. I don't like and share the video. Novlet, good night. So you know some live before this, me about out with them name Young Jamaica. Anybody know anybody from Young Jamaica? Tell them to come to the class, yeah? Yeah, man, tag them, man. Tell them to forward. Because we come for them again tonight, you know, them out of order. Let's continue.
Go to Mexico to play the playoff, and you want to tell me, say, Mr. Owens couldn't show up at Mexico, go support them, or send anybody go support them. But you send your baby mother, go send Vincent, go campaign against Ral, and you send your troop, go send Lucia, go campaign against the black man, because you did want the white man to win. So when it comes down to politics and your sister party, you take taxpayers' money and send people go other Caribbean country for go campaign against who you want to campaign against. But you could not secure a team or a group of persons of support to go to Mexico, go support the Jamaican football player them. You's a piece of crap. You, Mr. Thief in one bro devil. You're wicked and you hate where we know. You prove it over and over again. Jamaica, it's full time now for us that this Prime Minister will call himself 1 p.m. liar, thief in bro devil don't give a shit about the Jamaican people. No. Reggae boy go to Mexico to play the playoff, and you want to tell me, say, Mr. Owens couldn't show up at Mexico, go support them, or send anybody go support them. But you send your baby mother, go send Vincent, go campaign against Ral, and you send your troop, go send Lucia, go campaign against the black man, because you did want the white man to win. So when it comes down to politics and your sister party, you take taxpayers' money and send people go other Caribbean country for go campaign against who you want to campaign against. But you could not secure a team or a group of persons of support to go to Mexico, go support the Jamaican football player them. You's a piece of crap. You, Mr. Thief in one bro devil. You're wicked and you hate where we know. You prove it over and over again.
No comment. I have nothing to say, Jamaica. That one, I did not see that one coming. But listen, let me tell you something. In terms of reggae boys, guys, understand this. Anything happening under the Jamaica Labour Party, Andrew Jones-led government, is poison, it's cursed. Jamaica now gonna reach nowhere in no sports and get no glory. Like what we forget, as long as this government is in power. God is not with them. Them not have no favor with the heavenlies. You understand? Jamaica could have more than spark something and win that game there. Because what some of them what this thing, but it's a curse of the pandemic. Yeah man. I tell them, no look at Joe.
This is the problem that we have. This is the biggest problem that we have. One thing came out, the report just came out, and I have no patience for wait for Mr. Golden come out, come address the situation. But you have all of the patience them for wait for all the years of thieving and criminality where Mr. Owens have over there. I'm not talking to the minister them about the thiefness. We still have 12 criminals.
Listen, the people them, listen, Antonio, big up yourself, and Merle, listen. The people them that is coming after Dennis Gordon, Mark Golden made it very clear. When the investigation is over, as long as it is declared that Jacden was not in breach of the law, Mr. Gordon good. But if it is that he's in breach, you know what Mark Golden is going to do. And if you need a reference, look at Dennis Meadows. That's period. Mark Golden has showed his style of leadership. When you look at Andrew, if Andrew is in the same position for, and we're going to get to that, judge somebody that's a part of the JLP, that's a part of Jacden, if it is that is something illegal that was done and is declared, Andrew not going to move nobody. Because Andrew compromised him, can't move nobody. You have to be a leader of integrity. You can't live in a glass house and not try to sanction people. Alright, so picture somebody that is a 40-year-old man sleeping with a 15-year-old. And then you are a judge sending somebody to spend time in prison for the same thing that you're doing. Make it make sense. There's no way you can be a judge in that situation, because you're doing the same thing. So Andrew Owens is going to tell nobody about corruption when he's not certified, and we don't know if he's making money legally. It's impossible. Tik Tok, share this with 20 persons. Alright, trust me.
So I'm watching everything unfolding with the whole Auditor General reports. The 4 names, the 4 companies who are involved in the University of the West Indies exam tax thingy.
Right.
No, my opinion, whether Labour right or PNP, they must be held accountable.
That is right.
And pay the penalty of fraud in the system.
All right.
By any cost will not fight.
That is the difference between a Labour right and a comrade. This is a comrade. And I'm telling you, I have held the same position. I don't care who it is. Once you're in breach of the law, you can't do in a free party, brother. We don't want a criminal over here, so straight up. Alright? And if you're an MP or a councillor or you're a politician, you should know the law. And you should know that you can't be a part of anything that is going to be deemed as a breach of the law. Period. Let's continue. So I agree with her upon that.
Against that. But what I will not tolerate is Judge Davis, you going to come out here come say corruption is stink under the PNP leader.
Listen, when I hear Judge Davis talk, shut off the TV or the radio. I be a switch come out time out, yeah? The man is a paid operative. The man is a paid political operative. Him don't even have a mind of him own. Him get a script for read. Him not have no integrity. Why don't I listen to Judge Davis? How much time I got prove say the man is a paid operative? No PMP, no PME, no. Una hear my raw, unadulterated opinion on what going on in our country, you know. Me not agree with everybody, you know. Nobody at all on the internet with everything. Me not agree with everything with nobody say. Me listen, and I might say, alright, I understand where you come from, but me not necessarily agree with you. Vloggers and even people were calling on the show them. Me not agree with everything what everybody say. Me have a mind on my own. If I say to you, you know, so me agree with you, just know so me not pretend. Cause me not look likes. Only time I look like someone me turn on this and me say hit the like button. Like right now, I don't hit the like button, no, man. Me have to look likes because I'm there on YouTube. Me have to look likes with my life. So who is here? Yeah, man. For a day I watch that means say you find value from the platform. You like probably my charisma, how me talk, you like how me look, you like the content, you like the things that we may talk about. So you like something while you're here. So just you see right up on YouTube, yeah man. TikTok I don't know what to do already. Just right up so you have one little thumbs up button just and you see open up and hit the like button. No Joe. Hold on, let me just cause that video along here.
You going to come out here come say corruption is stink under the PNP leader, Mark Golding. You're sick in your head?
Sick him sick.
Judge Davis, you're sick in your head?
Delusional.
Why don't we wait and see what's happening? Why don't we give Mr. Golding a chance to see what he's going to say about it or what he's don't? So I'm watching everything unfold. Things stink.
Let me see if I can get her up on the phone. Let me see if I can get her up on the phone. You know, say kind of late still, but you never know. You never call her so late still. Are you up? Let's see. See if she up, huh?
Because the stinkiest thing we're going in Jamaica ever in a politics are over the labor rights side. 800 odd million flight green, $521 million health minister, plus health minister give him woman 88 million.
As a security, big up.
Mr. Holness is a money launderer. Mr. Holness cannot declare him status all now because the dirty nasty money them when him have him can't give account for them. Mr. Holness tried to strike out illicit enrichment because he's illicit enriching himself.
That is true. That is true.
$1.4 billion with
He tried to strike out the illicit enrichment part out. Yeah, that is true. That's what I'm referencing. Let's continue.
taxpayers' money, Darrell Vase, plus $12 more million. And God, he knows how much more money. Look what happened to the clerk of the court, clerk of the house, 29 million and telling lie in the bank. Bigfoot, the whole of a criminal over there, so the worst Jamaica I've ever seen corruption is
Radcliffe, big up yourself. Greetings.
within the Jamaica Labour Party. And you, Judge Davis, have come out here come talk about corruption stink within the PNP under Mark Golden leadership. Yes.
No, you see, that may I say, like, them people are waste of time, you know, when I taught them something, you know. When I really look on the facts, you know, a waste of time. Marjorie, thank you for the roses, thank you. Monica, how are you, Monica?
When you're talking, your mouth should have twist up.
That's true, man.
Your mouth should be twist.
I'm too lying wicked.
You guys are too hypocritical.
True.
Look how many things is happening under the Jamaica Labour Party. Look all the corruption that the people of this country, taxpayers like myself, have to sit down and watch. Nothing is happening. Look how Real Reed, wife and daughter, $50 million. I want code for dash that out. Look how the thief over there. Judge Davis, go and sit down. Is very, yo, may I tell us, listen, one thing I can tell the Jamaican people. Stop being dieted and defending yourself.
That is it.
Because any party, whether green or orange, that benefited from the university exempt tax, we need to hold them accountable. We don't care at all.
Period. Whatever that means. All right, Watson, big up yourself. Good night. Whatever that means, Jamaica. If it means people are going to prison, if it means them have to pay one fine, whatever it means for them to be held accountable, I am for it. I don't business if you're orange or green. We are dealing with good governance. We are dealing with structure. We are dealing with accountability. That's what we're dealing with. That sets me apart. Ryan Campbell, what's up, my brother? Hey, Ryan, when you gonna... Hey, man, you're supposed to be a member, bro. What you doing? Ryan, you have to be a member of the platform, bro. Stop playing. Bolo, do you realize from the voice notes leak, you hear nothing out of NNN? Yeah, they have been very quiet. They've been trying to out fires that are not outable, if that's a word. Garfield, good night.
But it's not going to be that we are going to sit down and try to look aside and try to put a blame game when you damn well know it that the biggest corruption Jamaica has ever seen is under the Jamaica Labour Party. You, Judge Davis, go and sit down.
Facts.
You don't have platform to come out here, come chat shit. Who are the other three companies? Huh? This got to be out of my mind. None of what is happening feels real. It seems like I'm losing my damn mind. These people are sick.
Don't make them do that, mama.
Look at the corruption over the Jamaica Labour Party and Judge Davis coming out here come talk about corruption stink under PNP leadership. Mark Golden, are you kidding me? Tell me that corruption stink under the PNP any other time, but not with Mr. Golding. You're outard and bright.
You should be able to start.
What did he say? The chip may fall where they lie or lie where they fall.
So
let us see what he's going to do about the situation. Who wants anybody at all try to do anything that harms or prevent Jamaican people from get success from with tax dollars? We want
experts to weigh in on government's money plans for the next fiscal year. And as government lays the foundation for investment-led growth.
Oh, sorry about that. I was like, where is that coming from? My bad, y'all, my bad.
To hold them accountable, we don't care at all. But we don't want you to come out here so I come fix up nothing.
Ven love us.
The Labour Party is the most criminal, listen, are the biggest criminal enterprise I go on. Look what Donovan do to the people them downtown. Donovan Williams do to the people them downtown. Sell out them property and let how much people down the homeless. Look how them take the relief things and give them friend. Look how make man when I have no authority for sign documents. Only now come out, come talk about it. Look how Mr. Honest come out, come lie. Say St. Thomas, whatever transport center did open and nothing no open, pay lie and corruption and thief and wickedness because guess what? I look points, political points for someone to do something. A criminal over there. Look at our prime minister is in court for illicit enrichment. And you come talk about corruption, stink within the PNP under Mark Golding's leadership. Look here, Judge Davis, don't make me you have nothing at all. We don't have no corruption under Mr. Golding leadership. You liar. You liar. So this old Auditor General report that came out about Dennis Garden, the report is out now and the name is company. Let us see what is going to be done. Let us see what become of that. All the hell you come out, draw accusation and Mr. Oles over there and watch the whole of them a thief and none do nothing.
Me not hear nothing. Me not hear Jerry Bryan today. Me not hear nothing from Jerry Bryan today.
Look how much money is over there missing and what did the one Mr. Oles come out here come say? When shame and disgrace are taken.
One man and his wife.
No, man. You people, show us how evil you guys are. What kind of corruption is under Mark Golding leadership? What kind of corruption? I him send Dennis Garden to go get mixed up in an exempt tax with university. Did he send him?
No, listen, you not listen. That's how many want to call her. That's how many want she come on in because it's like we are make them fall in the trap of focusing on the real things to focus on. The UHWI. Yeah, me not see no, sometimes you will not get the notification, bro. But man, tell us, I don't remember Andrew. I don't remember Jerry Bryan going live today. I don't remember that. And if you notice, the last time he posted was about the voice notes about Infomedia. After that, me not see no notification from Jerry Bryan. Alright, even if me go on him backup page, because I have a backup page, I don't know if you don't know. Just type in Jerry Bryan _ on TikTok, that time backup page. And I haven't seen anything. If him go live, I always get a notification. So even if I wake up and him did live already, then I go say, yo, Jerry Bryan is live. Alright, so somebody right there, so funny, TikTok, can I see that? Right there, so see my TikTok there. Alright, see there? Perry post one video. See there? He would have there right there, so I don't get nothing from him from morning. And then normally me in one group and the link would have send him in the group. You see me? Any of the vlogger them who did live with a TikTok or YouTube, yeah man would have there in the group. So I don't see nothing from him from morning. I guess tomorrow morning I come out full blazing. Yeah, that's what I'm going to deal with, but let's continue. Leprechaun, big up yourself, thanks for the follow. Alright, I'm probably in my work too, you know what go. You know what I'm deal with. Can we get to 50,000 likes tonight, TikTok? I'm sure it's okay. I'm sure it's okay.
Are out. We don't work with rumors, so now the reports are out and his company name. Let us see what is going to happen. Don't come out here with the man name, Judge Davis. Go and scratch your ass somewhere. Look like your ass a scratch you. Go and scratch your ass somewhere. You're out of order and bright.
What?
Uno running up and down with all kind of things. Uno tell the people them why the other three companies name never mean. Notice from this whole thing come out, uno hear about Dennis Garden, uno never hear about the other three companies. Uno notice, uno know why now.
Talk about it, baby. Talk about it.
Yo, I'm not telling no lie. Me hate the country here. Me hate the country here. But I just want the law to move in full force and do what it has to do. And more coffee go and go do them work.
Yes.
We not care who. We not care who you think so.
Hey, and listen, I asked Mr. Will Rattigan last night on the program on Mystic Sensation. I said, listen, when something like this comes out, do you need to request Mocha to do an investigation, or should Mocha just do an investigation? right? And he said, no, Mocha should be doing an investigation. Anybody responsible for those types of investigation with a viral voice note like that has gone public with those allegations, they should be probing and investigating on their own. And if they probe and they see that there is some validity to any of the allegations, and then can find proof, you know, a preliminary report is done, and based off the preliminary report, they take it from there whether they are going to do a full-blown investigation. They don't need to come out and tell us that they're doing an investigation, but they should be doing one. I'm not saying that they're dragging their foot, because I don't know if they're doing an investigation. All I'm saying is that, Mary, they should be doing an investigation. Need I remind people what Rosie said in those voice notes? Those were some damaging voice notes, bro. Damaging.
You know, so when PNP do something wrong and sit down and take up for PNP, we're not going to do that, because anything the PNP do, we stop poor people from benefit. We have to look out against it. We're not going to support it like how we try to support and hide.
Exactly.
But give it a chance. Let time process what it has to process. And then I can talk afterwards.
True.
But you, Judge Davis, you're not supposed to come out and talk about corruption.
None at all.
None at all.
None at all.
Don't come talk about corruption. When Mr. Holness a year leader, when Mr. Holness sticky finger, wicked lie, not only no minister accountable for what them over there do.
Yes.
Corrupt, the most corrupt Jamaicans I've ever seen in the country. Don't come out here come talk about corruption and call up Mackie name. You're bright and out of that. I saw them mislead people. Let's scratch your ass, man. Go use your...
Don't use Jamaican that.
Good up.
Yo, she said he should
So
go.
I'm watching every...
She should go. Yo, she said he should go scratch his ass, bro. That is crazy. That's wild. That is wild. I ain't gonna cap. Alright, so yeah. Let me see what she has said. So 1 p.m. I need to fix your big deep. What? What is she?
1 p.m. you need to fix your big depot, sir.
And it's raining and it's a disgrace. The car can only drive properly because every drive we drive, we're dropping out one of your big old deep hole them, sir. Mr. Wallace, you need to fix up your hole them. Jesus of mercy.
1 p.m.
So you know, so she dip on the road in her car. I met that video there. And she a rock like so, you know. I be a rock, she a rock. Like she a wacky deep. Anyway, moving on, Jamaica. Moving on. So, what them name? What them people in name? What them people in name? Young Drunker. The young drunker, the young armor of the JLP come to the front of the class again. And we have to make sure we make this clear. We don't business if it's PMP, JLP, or no P at all. If you are guilty, Miss Chin, how are you? If you are guilty of any breach of the law, alright, and you are a sitting member or a councillor of any party, ruling or opposition, we want, as myself, as a patriot of this country, I want the full force of the law to take its course. And the reason why is because you are in a better position. You're in a position where you took an oath. You understand what I say? So if you violate that oath, then the heaviest weight of the law should come down on you. Just like if a soldier or a police is involved in criminality, their sentence should be greater than regular citizens. Good night, Colleen. That's my opinion. I'm standing on that. Because you took an oath. Fertility decline drives smaller Jamaican household survey finds. Right. So yeah, young Jamaica come out early this morning with their foolishness. Untenable. Young Jamaica wants Dennis Gordon to resign over UHWI tax exemption. Oh, really? Let's examine that now. Let's examine that. Big up Peter Gay Ferguson. Let me play what she posted. And her birthday was recent. Happy belated birthday to her. I did post her. I believe Miss Jess, Zulika Jess, was live on Dan Jackson Miller show. I would love to hear that audio, but Miss Peter Gay Ferguson birthday was when? The 31st of March? Yesterday? Yeah, 31st of March. So happy birthday to her. Also, Mrs. Patricia Duncan Sutherland, was her birthday yesterday as well. So happy birthday to both ladies. Miss Andrea Perkis, the Hanover MP, business lady, she does her duty. Her birthday was the 30th of March. Happy belated birthday to her as well. Now, let me find this audio quickly. Very quickly, as quickly as possible. Here we go.
This is Peter Gay Ferguson,
Yes.
General Secretary of the PNP Youth Organization.
Yes.
I am calling on Minister of State in the Ministry of Social Security and Labor, Donovan Williams, to immediately step aside from his portfolio. The grave allegations against him threaten.
Step aside now. You have no right to be there. With these allegations on you, sir, you should have some shame.
Immediately step aside from his portfolio. The grave allegations against him threaten to further erode the confidence of young Jamaicans in our leaders.
That's a fact.
The voice notes from his own counselor, Rosalie Hamilton of Raytown, detail serious claims. The destruction of properties by fire, diversion of funds from road contracts on Wildman Street, Sutton Street, and Allman Town, and the use of fraudulent documents to misappropriate resources meant for vulnerable citizens. Every day, young people watch allegations of corruption swirl around those in power, yet we see little consequence.
True.
This breeds deep apathy and convinces too many that our voices simply do not matter. The minister now faces a catalogue of troubling claims that have mounted over the years. With so many questions surrounding the distribution of already scarce social security resources, he cannot continue to hold public office while this cloud hangs over him. Stepping aside is not an admission of guilt. It is a necessary act of respect for the integrity of the office and for the young people who desperately need to believe that public service is not a shield for self-enrichment. I'm also calling on G2K and Young Jamaica to join us in defending transparency and accountability. Silencing moments such as these only deepens public distrust and widens the apathy among our generation.
True.
This is a time for collective leadership, not selective outrage. So until the air is cleared, the minister owes it to the youth of this country to step down. We demand accountability, not excuses.
And shout out to Peter Gay. All right. Now, that's a specific situation. Now, this young arm came out against Dennis Gordon, and I'm saying to them, did you read the story? Did you listen to Dennis Gordon's representative that came on, the Jacden representative that came on Mr. Will Rattigan's show? Whether you want, and the Mark Golding actually, he ventilated this. There was a press conference. He told us, listen, he has spoken to Mr. Gordon. He said he did nothing illegal, he did nothing wrong, and he hasn't seen anything yet to say otherwise. So we did not know the details of that situation with the UHWI. However, UHWI, according to representatives from Jacden, was the one that approached Dennis Gordon and company, the directors of Jacden, and wanted to, they wanted their help pretty much. So they said, well, we're going to get you these equipments tax exempt, and you're going to give our patients that can't afford this particular service at a cheaper cost. And that's what they've been doing. Unlike the rubbish bin them and the plate them where the other company them buy and then sell it back to UHWI. That was not the case. No, I am not telling anybody to look at it. The dialysis service. Thank you so much, Colleen. K. Spence, how are you? The dialysis service, I believe it's over $10,000, much over $10,000 at UWI, but at Jacden it's 10,000 or below. So they got the tax exemption for the equipment to use the equipment to give the UHWI clients that need the dialysis for one and would love to get it at a cheaper cost at Jacden office. So if you want to hold Dennis Gordon to account as a comrade, I don't wrong you. You understand what I say? If you say him shouldn't did no dealings with anybody where a labor right or associate to labor right I can't is that illegal? I don't know. Based off what they said, I don't know if that's illegal. The UHWI is the one that approached Jacden according to Jacden. So these things are going to be ventilated in the courts. Now, another thing that you have to look at is that Jacden representative on Will Rattigan show stated that they are ready to pay the taxes. If it's a problem, they will just pay it because they are not really gaining anything from it. It was a service, a cheaper service to the people. Also, they said they would offer the services after paying the taxes. These are the facts that I'm laying out, you know. These are the facts I'm laying out. No, where the other companies are concerned, I don't know what's going on with them. How do you buy a phone for me when I could buy it myself? Not only that, you got a tax break and then you sell the phone back to me for 10 times the price. Who really benefited from that? Not UHWI. And then you have to look at what is the relationship between those companies and the heads of UHWI. Did they get kickbacks? That needs to be investigated. All of these things, Jamaica. All of these things. Let's get 200 people in the building. Share this with 20 people, guys. Let's get 200 people in the building. Let's go. And double tap the screen so we can get the likes up as much as possible. Alright? Hit that like button. Now, Peter Gay was on Colin Bell show. Marie, I was getting right to it. You kind of preempt me. But listen to this.
Because what he must resign as shadow minister? Well, I don't know that. But put it that hold on. If maybe the chief, somebody at UHWI is collecting money. So we need to get to the bottom of it. So if you want to call on Dennis Gordon to come to the front of the line and answer questions, it's the same way there's a young lady on the screen right now. You like pretty.
Oh, so that my man, the nephew, run off him out, but Mr. Gardner. Okay, all right. Cool.
Woman,
me play.
I had a beautiful lady on the screen a while ago, but I don't know where she gone. Let me bring up Ralston. All right, you can't go back or what? But
give me a second, my people. I'm going to use the bathroom. Sean, go on.
For Donovan Williams.
Calligraphy, big up.
Dennis Gardner admit to not yet, you know. Donovan Williams, this young man here, admit to use it to holding shares for somebody, you know. See me? Remember, you know, he admit to wrongdoing, you know. He admit to holding shares for somebody. And we need to know who hold the shares for because that act is an illegal act. You remember that? Right.
This is the reason why 60% of Jamaican people have nothing to do with the politics. You see why? Because both GLP and PNP have these supporters, including you and son.
Brother, nephew. Which government has been in power for the last 10 years?
The GLP.
Then everything we about now, everything we have run now, Labour right and weak, brother. Or PNP getting at this. When was the last time PNP had government? Tell me the corruptions the allegation of corruption that took place between 2012 and 2016. Let's talk about that, because that's the last time PNP was in power.
Mr. Ben, I told you over and over that both parties have a good day and a bad day. Both parties have a good day and a bad day. No one can deny.
You have a question for Ralston. Ralston, Iman, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
If you have a question for Ralston, maybe we'll take that now, but we're going to talk to Ralston.
Yes. Rally.
Yeah, man.
The interest rate. I hear it on the news today, which you mentioned also yesterday, that the Bank of Jamaica keep the rate at the present rate at the moment. Because the uncertainty of what is happening in the world because of that man, Donald Trump. And it is also telling us that the economy lost some ground because of the hurricane, the last hurricane. But it also tells us that with job concern with that, even the numbers is not bad. So before I tell my the question I'm asking, will this help us with interest rate holding our what? Give us your opinion. I will just listen to go.
Yeah, well, right now, the decision is the appropriate decision for now, because all of the international central banks are either holding interest rates or planning to raise them because of the impact of the war. Because of the impact of the war on inflation. First, the impact of the war on fuel prices and oil prices and inflation. So all international central banks, Bank of England, Fed Reserve, ECB, all international central banks are now holding rates firm or planning to raise them depending on how the war pans out. That is why we're telling you that you missed the opportunity when rates were coming down internationally. We missed that opportunity. That was a missed opportunity. Now it's difficult to bring them down given that the international trend is up. Bad policy again.
Miss opportunities.
Yeah, man. Long time I warned about that, yeah.
But I want to introduce Peter Gay Ferguson. Peter Gay is the General Secretary of the PNP-YO.
Okay.
Peter Gay, good evening.
Good evening, Comrade Colin. Thank you for having me. Let me turn my camera and say, right? Am I in the right frame? Okay.
No, you are. You and the PNP-YO is calling for the resignation of Donovan Williams. Why?
I mean, to be honest with you, from the looks of it, from what we've heard and what we're seeing, I can tell you that in the minds of young people in this country, it really sends the wrong signal. And I know at a time such as now, persons might ask, why are you calling for one MP to step aside and you haven't said anything about the other MP? But that in and of itself is something else. And I will say something about that here this evening. But for us, it sends the wrong signal. And what we're looking at is his own counselor is confessing from her mouth. And it's one thing if she had only alluded or alleged that, he's the one who is misappropriating funds for roadworks or any other program. But she also implicated herself in this. So, you could say maybe she was trying to be mischievous, but she did tell us, the nation, how those dealings went. And if anybody is of any good conscience, you would know that that's just not something that the JLP should tolerate and that Jamaicans as a whole should never tolerate those situations. And I mean, we have too many cases of corruption lingering in this country and monies that are being, we see the roads, as soon as them fix, them mash up. That is not something that we can have in Jamaica. The roads are not being properly dealt with. There are other things that we can get into, you understand? So when monies are being allocated to do what they're supposed to do, they should be used in the right way. And whether you're green or orange, you must be held accountable whenever you are found to be in such a precarious position. And that's what we're saying. He should do the right thing, step aside until the investigations are over and his name can be cleared from those allegations.
Ralston.
Yeah, man.
These kind of scandal and allegations we've been listening to the PAC yesterday with what is happening at the University of the West Indies. How does these things affect
Jamaica? When you hear Peter Gay Ferguson position, right? I think we have to go back to, because she's saying that persons are saying Why is she asking for Donovan Williams' resignation, but not Dennis Gordon? It's very, very simple. It's two separate situations. It's not the same. It's not the same. The allegations that are levied against Donovan Williams is definitely criminal. Misappropriation of taxpayers' funds, arson, right, where the fires are concerned that Rosie talked about. What else? With the government contracts, somebody's life, he was the reason for somebody's life being taken. That was also an allegation. Let me play it, because, you know, we're here now, man. This is why I'm here now. I'm here because of what Miss Ferguson said. Yes? So let me play it. Let me just play it. We'll catch it over that side, yeah? Catch. And that over there, so we can have them simultaneously. Dre Bryan. Guys, make sure that you go and subscribe to Dre Bryan Show on YouTube. He has a page on YouTube that the full audio is on. I think it should be at 100,000 views by now. Hottest audio online. Yeah, unalive it. Yes, exactly.
As the world turns.
One thing with me, you know, me talk up to people and me try to know people.
Before I go into the audio, Peter Gay said something very critical a while ago. The fact that Rosalie implemented herself in the voice notes, it gives further validation to the voice notes. These are voice notes that was in the group. And she implicates herself in these these allegations of crime, misappropriation of taxpayers' money, and those types of things. So it further validates the allegation against Donovan Williams. Because if it was a setup, like some people think, like Rosie just put the voice note them together and release them. If it was a setup, she wouldn't implicate herself. So it validates the allegation and the authenticity of the allegation. If you're an investigator, you got to be thinking, why would she do that? That don't make no sense. And it's multiple things she implicated herself in, not just one thing. You feel what I say? So that is the difference between Donovan Williams' situation and Dennis Gordon. You also heard Portland Spice say that Dennis Gordon has not come out and admitted to any wrong. He has not. Donovan Williams has come out and admitted to wrong. What wrong? Being a holder of an asset that is involved in government contract and not revealing who owns the asset. That is illegal. That is illegal, Olive. That is illegal. And that is from the drill. That is illegal. Good night, how are you doing, Carl? Carl, how are you doing? Good night. So Donovan Williams has admitted to illegalities already. So his credibility is already in question. So added to the allegations we're about to hear from Rosalie, it's further compounded the situation where we're like-minded, sensible people looking at him like, bro, what? She said you did what? But you didn't reveal who is person A for the company. Is it Andrew Wallace? We're just asking. Who is person A? I'm just saying.
So, me not stay like you. We're running into people and I know people. Me try to know people. So when me have a Judas, me know where to keep the Judas and where the Judas must stay.
Right.
You don't know your Judas them. Donovan Williams. Yeah. You don't know your Judas them. Because all the people them where you are talk to, them are talk to me. All of them where you are talk to, them are talk to me. And all the things that you have done in this constituency, Donovan, me know.
No joke, Granny.
Me know. Worthless Donovan. Bitch Donovan. Worthless Donovan. Me know your file.
Damn.
Me know your file. You understand that? Whatless Donovan, Croft Donovan, me know your file. Mongrel Donovan, me know your file. Donovan when I come from nowhere. I demand them up a Tower Hill, used to rob the yappies them and feed you and your family. I frighten you, you never angle money in your life. Yeah. And you say, all of them vice note, fuck with me. And see, if me not let them go in at the public, leave me. Leave me alone, Donovan. You hear me, I want you? Mongrel Donovan, leave me alone. I frighten you know. You forgot, so when you come in at the constituency, you never have no money. A liquor than you used to lend you money. And you make liquor than the dead. You.
No, them have to go investigate illicit enrichment. And them have to go investigate liquor than the dead. We just make you know that are two allegations right there. So. Him enriching himself and liquor than the dead. Man them from Tower Hill used to thief and give him food and money. That's our next allegation again. I'm just saying these are the allegations against Donovan Williams. It is not the same with Dennis Gordon. It is not the same. Don't get it twisted, young armor Jamaica.
I lend you money and when you pay him back Christmas, you give the boy $50,000 for share for him and Fidel and Tavar. That's why Tavar and Fidel run away and eat you. And you make Danny liquor than run away and gone foreign. So me know everything liquor than tell me.
You say, what you say? Granville, she should charge for conspiracy. Rosie should be charged for conspiracy. Oh, you talk about in terms of conspiracy, in terms of the law. Well, listen, in these types of situations, you know, coming from an investigator perspective, she's a whistleblower. So normally, they would give her immunity to spill all the beans so she can catch the bigger fish. So the conspiracy charge would have be, they would have give her a slap on the wrist. And then if you catch who was involved in some bigger thing, I saw FBI and CIA and the government them work, you know. Yeah man, if you catch the bigger fish, then we give you one slap on the wrist. So the voice note them done leak already. We done hear them already. People ain't now stop listening. It's out there. Mocha and everybody have to respond, and then them have to investigate and find out and get to the bottom line of these allegations. If you know me, I deal with. No, me I tell him say, no man, listen. Yeah, that him right, you know, case Spence. Him right, you know, under the law, she implicated herself for charge for conspiracy to commit these crimes and act, which is say she money and this and that. You understand? Yeah. You see me I deal with, but when a whistleblower come out, if you catch a big fish, the people them always give them immunity. And if she have a lawyer we have sense, that's what them go ask for. And if you look upon the article where the lawyer them must say she was doing her patriotic duty to warn against all of these things that is happening in the Jamaica Labour Party. You see me I deal with? Yeah. Maidens, big up yourself. Maidens say everybody must go to jail. Well, maidens, in a perfect world, that happens. But if Rosie doesn't provide proof of what she's saying, all of this is hearsay. Rosie says she have proof. You feel what I deal with? So it's now the time for the authorities to secure the proof and prosecute. You know that is it.
For him go away, say no one this you. So him gonna leave you alone, cause you was him liar. Look at that, listen Donovan. Why you think me skeptic of you? Because I know your file. The man them what your brother carry from Towel come down here. Election when you work running at the 2020. As you win the night, the man them come back the morning, come tell me, say, I was sorry, Donovan in the seat.
Mighty
Donovan feisty, Donovan thief, Donovan mean, and Donovan lie. Yeah. And every day the man them call me and say, me they tell you, Rosie, so I was sorry, Donovan in the seat because Donovan are wicked. But let me tell you something, me I get you out here, and me carry you here now. Me never know when you are coming here. Remember, them never tell me when you are coming here. You come in by night. But me wait to the place where me born and grow to take you out. And me go take you back out here. Me go take you back out here because you must lose. If you stay till election, buy your ticket. Enrich yourself. Because of that you do. Wow. Enrich yourself and the people them poorer. The people them poor like church loaves in the constituency. Because all the money them were used to come in the seat, where contractors used to come in here and the man them used to get them 200 and them 300 and them this and them that. From you come in here at 2 and 3 people that work on a project and you alone I get the money from the contractor them. But me said, Donovan, leave me alone. Because your file I go out in the public. And everything when me I talk, me can prove it. Everything. Me say, Lawrence Rowe send me a text. If him can talk to me, man, talk to me about something. If I didn't know Sir Lawrence Rowe number, I wouldn't even answer it. But it never have no name on it.
Regular day, big up.
When I call back the number and ask, who is this? Him say Lawrence Rowe. He want to ask me a question. Lawrence Rowe asks me, tell me, say Chris and Ramon, the list of the Raytown division, people them will forget the $20,000. Him gave Alia 100 paper farms for fill out. And Alia do all kind of things with the farm them and stupidness and him give them to Ramon and Chris and now the people them never get the benefits because it late and the farms them not do. I ask Lawrence Rowe, why you bringing that argument to me? I have nothing to do with the farms. When Una do the things, Una never tell me nothing. Wanna bring. But guess what? Lawrence Rowe go on like him smart. He might try to feel me out if me and Alia and Chris and Ramon in a dialogue. So him want to know if on a circle is trustworthy. Your circle, Donovan Williams, not trustworthy because you have Lawrence Rowe and they will walk and talk everything. He might carry news to you and he might carry news to everybody else. So your circle will never private. Never. Because Donovan, me know every single thing where you do, how you do, when you do, where you do. You ask them where you have around you. If me did make them know nothing where me I do anytime at all. Them get duties for execute, them never get duties. Them never be a part of no decision making because me know me did have a whole heap of boy, girl I deal with. So me know what to say to them and when not to say to them. Hey. Leave me alone, Donovan. Hey. You hear me, I want you? Leave me alone. Because me know you can't stay in a Central Kingston. You could have, me not even talk about Jesus. The devil on your back, you can't stay in here. And me build Central Kingston, you know. And me build Central Kingston. Ramon in I'm yard when me build Central.
Jamaica. That sound like somebody with sound untouchable, not true? Yeah. That sound like somebody that is untouchable. A sheep build Central Kingston. Wow. Wow. God have mercy. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Let's continue.
Economy and also foreign direct investments.
Well, the first thing is that it has a negative impact on investor confidence. So right now, internationally, investors are not confident because of the level of uncertainty related to the global events such as the war. So when you have this kind of situation where you are...
Sir?
A company which are PNP member of PNP
functions without having to tax us.
Peter Gay, the call from the PNP YO, how does that sit now with the fact that in PAC, a company which are PNP member of parliament is also a director in, is also sent to from the university.
Well, to be honest with you, on that one in particular, Comrade Colin, what I will say about that is I'm of the belief, and I'm sure my other members in the organization, is that in situations as these, we must allow the investigations to take place. And at the end of the day, we should allow the chips to fall where they may.
She's talking about Dennis Gordon. That's what she's talking about, Dennis Gordon. And that's the position that the leader took. Let the chips fall where they may. Can we get 400 people in here tonight? I'm gonna need the team to like and share the video. Share it with as much person as I can. I'm not going to put a limit on it. Share it on your status. Share it everywhere. Send it out right now. See? Let's continue.
So if at the end of this investigation, you know, the MP is found to be in any legal issues with the, you know, the laws and so on, then that is a matter that the party will have to address and deal with at such a time.
Yes.
But I want to say something to you because I noticed every time the Young Jamaica or G2K, they take pleasure in writing certain types of press releases. And I can't help but to figure that it's really the JLP who wants to say these things, but because they're afraid of looking bad or looking petty, they allow the Young Jamaica or G2K to write these releases and send them.
She have sense. Socialist and a fool. That is exactly what I've been saying. I've been saying that, bro. It come like say that them do. When them, because Andrew Holness is a stain upon their reputation, you know, when corruption is concerned. You know. He's not certified. We don't know how he making money. So labor right there, I send restriction to my video. Ladies and gentlemen on TikTok, F1, like up the video, share up the video here. Please and thanks. What have I said for them to be sending restriction to my video? I have said nothing. Only like and share the video, Jamaica. But she's absolutely right. These statements that come out from G2K and the Young Arm of Jamaica, I believe they are using them and shielding them. It is the senior members of the Jamaica Labour Party a put out press release through G2K. A them a control G2K. A them a control the Young Arm of Jamaica. I strongly believe that. Because this don't make no sense. There's no way you can call for the resignation of Dennis Gordon. At a time when Rosalie voice note them come out, this have to be a comedy show. This, where is the moral authority with G2K or Young Arm of Jamaica to come out and talk about any resignation without mentioning Donovan Williams for resign? Based off of the voice note them. That has been confirmed to be Rosalie Hamilton by her lawyers in an article. As a matter of fact, we need to find the article. Hold on.
I mean, I have not heard, and I've been watching this matter closely. And when the time comes, we will hear about the legality of the matter, and then we'll be able to say whether or not MP Gordon is in a situation where he needs to recuse himself, you know, from public office or whatever. I've not heard there is a certain MP of the Jamaica Labour Party who is closely affiliated with Jacden. I've never heard them call for his resignation.
Hold on.
A certain minister or former minister, I've never, and I can say that with my chest.
So Jacden is a company. I said that before. And then
Okay.
but one director
Okay.
of the company.
Okay.
Who else is a director of the company that sits in the parliament or used to sit in the parliament?
There is a certain current, I'm not talking about used, you know. I'm talking about now, as we are here speaking. There is a current Andrew in the parliament who...
A current Andrew? Jamaica, hold on. There is a current Andrew in the parliament for the JLP, where they pan Jacden. How much person in a JLP named Andrew? We could go do the maths. All JLP MPs names in 2026. Let me go and look it up. Members of Parliament. Let's go do our research, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going officially on the JIS website because that is the official website. No, man, listen. We're going on the website. No. Government members. Let me look for the Andrew then. Andrew Holness, obviously. Let me see if we see nobody else named Andrew. Andrew Morris, St. Elizabeth. When was this? What year is this? When was this article put out? Let me see this one on Jamaica. Warmington. When was this put up? Xavier Main, Krista Lee, Floyd Green. Okay, them take off a restriction, thank God. Hold on, Jamaica, just wait the man. When I jump the gun, so I actually go for a look. So you have somebody named Andrew Morris from the St. Elizabeth Northwestern. Alright? Andrew Morris, that time constituency. I bet you none of you look this up. Alright, so Andrew Morris. Andrew Morris, MP. Alright? But I've never seen this man in Parliament. Oh, he's a councillor. Hold on there. Andrew Morris is a councillor. He's not an MP. He's a councillor. Andrew Morris. But it's 35 of them. 35 of them in a parliament now. Favour Williams, Donovan Williams, Delroy Williams, Andrew Wheatley, Warmington, Witter, Franklin Witter, Terry Long, Tufton, Vaz, Dwayne Smith, yes, Siv Wright. So Delano Siv Wright have a seat. St. Andrew North Central, Matthew Samuda, yeah, James Robertson, Karen Sia Morrison, St. Catherine North Eastern, Andrew Morris, Robert Nestor Morgan, Robert C.D. Montague, Desmond Mackenzie, Xavier Main, Audrey Marks, Malawu Fort Crystal Lee, Andrew Holness, Judith Holness, Tova Hamilton, Floyd Green, Olivia Grange, Babsy Grange, Marissa Dalrymple, Cuthbert, Rhoda Crawford, Hero Clark, Delroy Chuck, Pernell Charles Jr., Horace Chang, Edmund Bartley. These are all people from the 35. Hey, what's up? Nacho in the building. What's up, Nacho? How you doing, bro? Salute, Nacho. I want to invite you to become a member of the platform, although you don't understand nothing that I'm saying sometimes. Alright? Yo, shout out to my boy Nacho, man. Salute, bro. I had to plug that in there. Alright? So anyway. So according to this, the listing, guys, I just wanted to make sure. There's 3 persons on the Jamaica Labour Party that name is Andrew. Their first name is Andrew. Andrew Morris, Andrew Wheatley, and Andrew Holness. But we're just going to keep that in mind because we want to be thorough, you know. We want to make sure that we look at the evidence, the facts. Let's continue. Let's listen to more of what this the lovely Peter Gay Ferguson is saying.
That's certain current. I'm not talking about youth, you know. I'm talking about now, as we are here speaking. There is a current Andrew in the parliament who is affiliated closely, heavily involved in Jacden. So tell Young Jamaica and G2K that the next release that they write, they should call for that member of parliament's resignation as well. So until they do that, I have nothing to say to them.
Hold on, you are saying that Dennis Scott is not the only director of Jacden that sits in the House of Representatives presently?
Ask Young Jamaica and G2K if they've done their homework, and if they want to be honest, they will address it. But I say that here, Colmer Colin, because I've never heard them address it. And I'm certain that when Jacden was doing their launch, I used my own 2 eyes that God gave me, and I saw that certain member of parliament, former minister or sitting minister there. I saw him with my own 2 eyes.
Minister now, right?
I don't even know what him role is now, but he was, he's a former minister. Well, it seems like you know what I'm getting at. You seem to know what I'm getting at. But I'm saying, when we... Is that
minister now, right?
I don't even know what him role is now, but he was, he's a former minister. Well, it seems...
All right, so, yeah, Nacho, you already know. So, based off what Portland Spice is asking, He said he's in the office of the Prime Minister, no? Well, that boils down to Andrew Wheatley. That boils down to Andrew Wheatley. I don't know of Andrew Morris being in the office of the Prime Minister. He is an MP. His name is Andrew Morris. But he has no spotlight. I've never seen him speak in the House of Parliament, like ever. Not even once. Ever. So I guess that's the confirmation right there. Because somebody called me, and he's like, Bolo, you don't hear that Andrew Wheatley is a director of Jacden or one of the partners of Jacden. I said, what? Are you serious? Then look at the audacity of it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just assume, hypothetically, that Andrew Wheatley is indeed a partner of Jacden. Jacden that got one of 4 companies that got a tax exemption from the UHWI. I've already ventilated what was said on record by a partner of Jacden on Mr. Will Rattigan show about the circumstances around them getting the tax exemption. So I'm not going to do that again. However, if you're going to call for Dennis Gordon's resignation as a PMP MP, why wouldn't you call for the resignation of Andrew Wheatley as well, if it is indeed true that he is a director or a partner of Jacden? Because on my end, I support Mark Golding, but Mark Golding does not control everybody in the People's National Party in terms of what they are involved in. How we judge Mark Golding as a leader is how he responds when the evidence is presented, if these people are indeed involved in criminality, as a leader of a political entity here in Jamaica. And based off what I've seen from Mark Golding, even in the election, where Dennis Gordon is concerned with the comments about scamming, Dennis Gordon was removed from the seat, and it is widely known that, or widely spoken about, that some people think that Mark Golding should have not removed Dennis Gordon because it cost them the seat. So when it comes down to integrity and good governance, Mark Golding, cost it what it will, has shown us through demonstration that he's willing to make those decisions on behalf of integrity. Where Andrew Honest is concerned, we have seen the total opposite. Remember when Warmington did what he did, right? And he said that he was fired. He said that Warmington resigned, and Warmington came out and said, no, he fired me. So there was a dishonesty around that. But Warmington is back, and Warmington has a big position, and he's getting big pay. Bigger pay than before. Yeah. You understand? So, I mean, it is quite clear, once the evidence comes out that Dennis Gordon, based on investigation, and anybody in Jacden was in breach of the law, we know that Mark Golding is going to do the right thing in Jamaica. So this hullabaloo and this, oh my God, the PMP, Dennis Gordon needs to resign. How about you ask Donovan Williams to resign? How about you ask Christopher Tufton to resign? There's so much things that validate him needing to resign. Why don't you ask Andrew Honest to resign? We have a prime minister that we do not have evidence if he's not a thief. We don't have any evidence if he's not a thief. We don't have any evidence he's not a criminal. That's facts. We don't know how he made his money. He can't say, listen, this is my statutory declaration, and it's squeaky clean. I made my money honestly and legally. He cannot say that, Jamaica, with paperwork. The evidence points to a shakiness where that is concerned, an uncertainty where that is concerned. So because of that uncertainty, he's not even qualified to be in the office of the Prime Minister. He shouldn't even have run in the last election. But young Armour Jamaica comes out and says Dennis Gordon should resign. Again, I say, this has to be the older people in the Jamaica Labour Party that is using the G2Ks and the young arm of Jamaica Labour Party. And you know what? It might not even be that. Maybe all of them is just this inherently corrupt. Maybe they really stand behind corruption because it suits them and their pockets are being filled and they feel like, oh, we can have this monopoly over Jamaica and trick the Jamaican people and use propaganda and have them vote for us for a fourth term because what? We have it locked.
You know what I'm getting at. You seem to know what I'm getting at. What his role is now, but he was, he's a former minister. Well, it seems like you know what I'm getting at. You seem to know what I'm getting at. But I'm saying, when we speak about fairness, when we speak about balance, and when we speak about holding those in public office accountable, we cannot be a flip-flop about it. We cannot be two-sided about it. And we also cannot be, we can't try to sway the nation in a particular way and forget the full facts. You can't give half information. You can't curate the truth in a way that will never stand the test of time. But they know those things. And I would love to see young Jamaica tell them to challenge me on that. Let
me ask you though, because we have Ralston on the line and we're talking about the economy in Jamaica right now.
Yeah.
But with you writing on this issue where Rosie is bringing up this argument about Donovan Williams.
Yes.
Donovan Williams is also the holder of shares in secret for somebody else, which the law of the land does not allow. Why is it that why you never ran? Because this, for me, this looks like a bigger issue where an MP sits in the parliament that's breaking the law and somebody else, and the law of Jamaica says that should no longer happen. Why you guys don't write on?
We've seen it addressed. We've seen that matter being addressed already by the party. So, at the time, we didn't feel like there was any additional need to continue to write on it or elaborate on the matter because we have seen where the party and the leader brought up this matter over and over again, and even amplified the call for him to be properly investigated in that specific case. And so it is still there, and we do support it. Like we say, it's not about being biased, but whenever these issues arise, we should allow the investigation to take place and allow the chips to fall where they may. So we still hold that view, in that regard, in that specific matter as well.
Finally.
So, Jamaica, Winifred, what are you doing? You heard what she said, right? Hi, chosen by God, thanks for the follow. You heard what she said, right? In terms of the situation with Mr. Gordon, right? Because the People's National Party did do a press conference. They actually did a press conference about that. And the party leader definitely addressed it. And he got some tough questions. some leading questions from, what do you call it, Oceanwide or Revolt. Yeah, he got some questions from them. There was a live press conference about it. Hold on. Let me see if I can find back that press conference. UHWI, here it is. Wonderful.
We are going to place the...
Is it this one? Is it this one?
Say is that what we have heard is that there have been many billions of dollars of emergency procurement by the government. Emergency procurement means that there is no proper tendering and you don't know whether you're getting value for money.
Well, on the Jamaica.
Fully payable, have my position that
with the chairman of Regions.
Here it is.
Points out that certain companies appear to have received certain benefits.
Question is for the opposition leader. Mr. Golding.
Room, please indicate by raising your hand and we'll get a microphone to you. Please say your name and the news agency you represent. If you are online via Zoom platform, please use the raised hand icon. We will acknowledge you. If you wish to speak, you'll be acknowledged and you'll be permitted to go ahead, or we can read a message and question for you if you put it in the chat.
All right, so listen to the first question that was asked, right
Morning.
after it from this.
My name is McKinsky Robinson. I'm from TVJ News. My question is for the opposition leader. Mr. Golding, the medical company owned by the party's chairman for Region 3 and MP for East Central St. Andrew, Dennis Gordon, has been linked to benefiting from the unlawful tax cuts at the University Hospital. Now, in light of your tough stance against corruption, how are you treating with this matter?
At this point, the only formal investigative report we have is the Auditor General's report. And that report does not name any specific company as being involved in anything.
Right.
It points out that certain companies appear to have received certain benefits and raises real concerns about that. And when those matters are formally investigated, the chips will have to fall where they lie. But at this juncture, I'm not prepared to talk about any specific company because none has been named in any official report.
Right.
And all you're going on is things that have been said by certain media houses. And I don't want to engage in that.
Yeah, the media house come now. Listen,
I'll follow up to that question, Mr. Golding. Siobhan Campbell from Nationwide News. The matter raised by my colleague, have you actually raised it with the chairman of Region 3, that's Dennis Gordon? Has he given you an explanation or an answer regarding the allegations raised?
First of all, I just want to wish your CEO, I assume he's your CEO, your leader in Nationwide, a speedy recovery from his recent health challenge. I hope he recovers well and quick. And in terms of your question,
Jamaica, hold on there. Oceanwide, aren't you guys the biggest hypocrites? Wait a minute, doesn't Oceanwide have a tax issue? Unpaid tax issue? Wait. Yo, that just came to me a while ago. Wait, hold the phone. Guys, isn't it alleged that Oceanwide has a tax-paying issue? I'm talking billions of dollars, if not millions of dollars in tax owed. I saw some documentation on Mr. Wayne Lonesome. And I'm not talking with water in my mouth. I've seen it on Andre Stevens' show. Isn't Oceanwide in need of paying up some taxes? Wait a minute. Well, isn't it alleged that it's because they are associated with the current administration why they haven't been pressured? What a tangled web we weave. No, why is only Mr. Gordon name? Them live on. Yeah, I mean, obviously we know why they're doing that. We're not focused on that, but it just came to me a while ago. Yeah, isn't that a thing? Where they have been questioning whether or not NNN has paid their taxes over the years. There's a large sum of taxes that has not been paid allegedly. I'm just asking these questions, because if that is indeed true, NNN needs to go and sit down somewhere about tax exemption. They have no moral authority to talk and even question anybody if that's true. Oh, my son Jamaica, forever rich is big up. Yeah, man, you guys help me with the live goal. All right? Yeah, man, help me with the live goal, guys, on TikTok. Let's get to 50,000 likes, all right? We need 50,000 likes. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Discussions with the person to whom you referred, those discussions are not matters that I would disclose the details of. Suffice to say, he knows my position because my position is not new, and he agrees with my position that chips must fall where they lie if there's anything in any kind of allegation. But at this juncture, he has maintained that he has done nothing wrong. And
you hear that? Mr. Gordon has maintained that he has done nothing wrong. Nothing. That's what he said. All right, let's continue.
I have no reason to doubt that because I haven't seen any official investigation, any official report suggesting otherwise. And I'm not prepared to engage in any speculative chase after any individual, which is just based on rumor or based on conjecture or based on information, the source of which we have no knowledge of.
Recognizing Zara Burton online, please unmute and go ahead with your question.
All right, so we couldn't hear Zara, right? So we just have to go here with what do you say?
Ms. Burton, if there has been any instance of taxes or duties that are properly payable having not been collected because of the way in which things were done, and those things were an improper situation, then those taxes should be collected and whatever sanctions are appropriate should be imposed. I really have nothing further to say on it than that.
So you hear that? And that's exactly what I'm saying. Thank you for riches. Forever riches. Taxes should be collected and any other sanctions applied should be applied. So if that is the mode of the law where that is concerned, that's what should happen. And I've already said, let me even go here. Let me see if this is the audio I'm looking for.
And to establish the medical facility was driven by a fund clearly demonstrate that all transactions, therefore, were conducted in the name of my company with all duties and taxes properly declared, and paid in full. Now that the Auditor General has indicated that such an arrangement should not have occurred, I fully respect that determination in keeping with my long-standing commitment to transparency and accountability and the rule of law. I stand ready and willing to pay any sums that were exempted through the use of the institutional tax exemption certificate. This matter has never been about personal gain. It has always been about responding to a public health need, easing suffering and expanding access to essential medical care. I remain committed to access to life.
Let's hear the response from Jacden on the full response on Mr. Will Rattigan's program. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe, all right? And Colin Bell show as well. Listen to this.
To take this opportunity to clearly and transparently these funds about so much stuff out.
While you're finding that, give us an overview. What is Jacden as you're looking for that?
Well, all right. Let me Jacden get started in the medical field. I said to the chairman, Chairman, we were there, the Auditor General's report, and wish to take this opportunity to clearly and transparently set the record straight. My decision to establish the medical facility was driven by a fundamental awareness of an urgent response to the growing need for dialysis treatment, particularly for patients who were struggling to afford high cost of care access to life. Saving dialysis should never be a privilege reserved for a few. And that principle guided every step of this initiative at the time the dialysis machines were imported. I saw...
You hear that? They wanted to create an affordable situation for persons to get dialysis. That was more affordable than UHWI. So the partnership between UHWI and Jacden, that was the basis of it. Listening, now let's continue.
Sought and received permission for this clearance using an institutional tax exemption certificate in accordance with the circumstances then presented. The record showed that all amounts subsequently determined to be due were paid. Furthermore, the record will also clearly demonstrate that all transactions, therefore, were conducted in the name of my company with all duties and taxes properly declared, and paid in full. Now that the Auditor General has indicated that such an arrangement should not have occurred, I fully respect that determination in keeping with my long-standing commitment to transparency and accountability and the rule of law. I stand ready and willing to pay any sums that were exempted through the use of the institutional tax exemption certificate. This matter has never been about personal gain. It has always been about responding to a public health need, easing suffering and expanding access to essential medical care. I remain committed to ethical conduct, full compliance with the law, and continued service to the people who depend on our healthcare system. How do you guys like that one? Well,
So that is a statement that came from Jacden. They are willing to pay any amount of money that they owe, are determined to owe. Sanction, the tax, everything. And they are committed to still giving the affordable dialysis. So these machines that were ordered and given tax exemption to Jacden, they paid all they're supposed to pay. It was a tax exemption, and they offer the services to the people at a very, very cheap cost and continue to do so. And they have said that even with paying the taxes or whatever sanction comes, they're not saying that the Auditor General is talking nonsense. They are not challenging Auditor General. They respect our findings. Good night, Patsy, and they are ready to move forward in paying the taxes, them and everything. All right, those are the facts. All right, so let's go back to what Peter Gay said here.
Investigated in that specific case, and so it is still there, and we do support it. Like we said, it's not about being quick, and
that should no longer happen. Why you guys don't write on?
We've seen it addressed. We've seen that matter being addressed already by the party. So at the time, we didn't feel that there was any additional need to continue to write on it or elaborate on the matter, because we have seen where the party and the leader brought up this matter over and over again, and even amplified the call for him to be properly investigated in that specific case. And so it is still there, and we do support it. Like we say, it's not about being biased, but whenever these issues arise, we should allow the investigation to take place and allow the chips to fall where they may. So we still hold that view, in that regard, in that specific matter as well.
Finally, for me, so you're still insisting on the PGYO that Donovan Williams stepped down at this time?
Oh yes, because it's not the first, it's not the second time. We've heard his name over and over again, and what is so amazing? In other democracies around the world, had any government, any administration been so entangled in these issues of corruption and cases of corruption, I don't think they would have even been able to brag about a second term, much less a third term.
She ain't lying. Jamaican people, outside of the corruption of the elections, you guys truly failed your children. All of you that voted for Andrew Honest failed this country and failed your children and failed your children's children. All of you that sat down and did not vote, you gave them the opportunity to take the election because you didn't come out in massive numbers. Elections are harder to take, and I'm using the word take very, very seriously. Elections are harder to take when the majority of people come out to vote and actually vote. It's hard to take. All right? But God is in control. You guys messed up, and now, God is taking it into his own hands. And of course, hey, it's not going to be pretty. Let's continue.
And people take these matters seriously. And I think the Jamaica Labour Party takes for granted that apathy is growing in Jamaica. So when you leave the few people who don't care how the vote sway at the day to vote, and those who actually have an independent thought, who understand certain things, become so comfortable and laid back, then these are the things that are allowed to happen. And we have to ensure that we hold those in public office accountable. And one of the ways in which we can do that is when them not keep up arms, you vote them out. Your vote speaks to those things. And I think at the end of the day, whichever way the country votes, it shows you, how the people are thinking, what their feelings are. But the truth is that there is a great apathy issue. And every time this situation comes up, it makes young people more apathetic toward the voting process. And even it makes us disinterested in wanting to actually take up public life, even if we have good to offer. It makes us second.
Jamaica, what she's speaking to is the young people in Jamaica. That fraction that don't vote, that's what she's speaking to. Because, you see, this idea that the Jamaica Labour Party put out there on social media is strategic, And this is the reason why they want to focus on Dennis Gordon, because they want, family, they want you to think that both parties are the same. The more people think that both parties are the same, is the more the JLP can maintain and keep taking elections. Yeah. The more people don't, and the more the JLP can go and maintain taking elections. And I am pleading to you, persons out there that decide that you don't want to be a part of the political process. I was once that person, and I'm pleading to you. Jamaica has to be rescued. All right? And it's not just politics. This is an evil, wicked government. It's beyond politics. This is a government that has dripped in evil, submerged, sunken at the bottom of the pit of a lake of evil. You understand? It's very, very serious, Jamaica. So get in line and get ready. All right? And get engaged and listen and research. First in study. PNP and JLP is not the same. All right? Similar in some cases doesn't mean the same. Yes, there are individuals that are part of the lodge that are in PNP and JLP. But the organization of the PNP led by a Mark Golding, there's a big difference, Jamaica. Big difference. And we're going to continue to champion Marky G because he's championing accountability. He's championing integrity and good governance. And he's very, very serious about it. His actions have showed us that. All right? So I think all of us need to rally behind a man like that because we want better for the country. All right? Yes, so for YouTube, the live goal is right there. And for TikTok, the live goal is right there. Turn me up, man. Hit the like button, send a super chat. You know what I mean? The Cash App is available. Zelle. You send something on the Zelle or the Cash App, hey, hit me up on 876-451-6535 with a screenshot. That's 876-451-6535. If you want the Zelle information, you can also WhatsApp me. All right? 876-451-6535.
Yes, because when you see what is happening, you really wonder if when you go in there, you can make any sort of change in a good way for the country. When so much corruption, corruption has become the hallmark of this JLP government.
True.
So it's hard to make young people want to, do better when you see these things.
Mm-hmm. Raleigh,
Mm-hmm.
you have any questions for Peter again?
No, not really.
Obi's on the line. Let me bring up Obi. Have a question. Hold on. I don't know what's coming back to us, but something coming back to us. Peter, again, finally, do you think a lot of my viewers and listeners believe that the PNP is not strident enough on issues to do with the government and how we operate in the parliament? What is the thought of the PNP?
To be honest, I don't believe that. And here's the thing, what I find to happen. There is a time when you hear people say, we're always opposing, without giving full context as to what we are opposing against. And this is where I can say the opposition People's National Party is always at the forefront of these matters when they arise. They take it to the parliament. They address the matters. You see with the press releases, you see the press conferences, articles are being written. And so there is work being done. But what I noticed with Jamaican people, I don't know what it is. There seems to be this thing where, it's the opposition. Them just always opposing. But at the end of the day, it is not only the opposition's job to oppose. It's for every well-thinking and decent Jamaican to take public persons who hold public office to task in ensuring that we all keep them accountable. So it can't only be the PNP who needs to be talking about it in the parliament or outside of the parliament. We too have to take some amount of interest. And when we hear these conversations, we have to read beyond the headlines to ensure that we have the full facts, we know what is happening, and we even do some investigation for our own selves so we can become affair with what is actually taking place within the public domain and be able to comment in a real way on those matters. And I know you didn't really ask, but I want to say one thing, and is that we ought to, as Jamaicans, we ought to
pay closer attention. I know it is very difficult for people to balance their regular lives and want to take interest in, public matters, but I want to encourage us as Jamaicans to actually become a little bit more interested in national affairs, because these things do affect the quality of life that we live in the country. It affects the level of healthcare that people have access to in the public sector, the quality education that is being delivered in schools. It affects all those things. And Friday, I was listening to the sitting of the Senate while Dr. Senator Maziki Thame was speaking, and she was talking about history and how the JP always distorts history to suit their narrative and leaving out important aspects of it that really matters. And I saw Senator Gordon on the other side stood up in the parliament and commented on a point of order to say that the history is not relevant in this case. And I was like, how can you say that? Our history is so important. It shapes how we are today, and you cannot take out the parts that show that every time Jamaica is going in a wrong direction, every time you can depend on somebody to sell out Jamaica. In Jamaica, it is the JP government who the US or other countries rely on to do that, and they will do anything that serves them and forget about how it will impact the people, the everyday ordinary people. They forget that, and we cannot ignore our history and the important role that it plays in shaping how the country operates today. And that's very important.
Peter Gay, let me thank you for taking the time out to talk to us this afternoon as you call for the resignation of MP Donovan Williams of Central.
Corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again, Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Jamaica.
There is a time when you hear people say, we're always opposing, without giving full context as to what we are opposing against. And this is where I can say the opposition People's National Party is always today, and that's very important.
Peter Gay, let me thank you for taking.
And I was like, how can you? We ought to, as Jamaicans, we ought to pay closer attention. I know it is very difficult for people to balance their regular lives and want to take interest in, public matters, but I want to encourage us as Jamaicans to actually become a little bit more interested in national affairs, because these things do affect the quality of life that we live in the country. It affects the level of healthcare that people have access to in the public sector, the quality education that is being delivered in schools. It affects all those things. And Friday, I was listening to the sitting of the Senate while Dr. Senator Maziki Thame was speaking, and she was talking about history and how the JP always distorts history to suit their narrative and leaving out important aspects of it that really matters. And I saw Senator Gordon on the other side stood up in the parliament and commented on a point of order to say that the history is not relevant in this case. And I was like, how can you say that? What? Our history is so important. It shapes how we are today, and you cannot take out the parts that show that.
I really want to find when she said that. History is not important, then why does Andrew Honest go back to 1960 and 1940 and 1920 and 1930? Every chance him get, to remind the people that, oh, we cannot go back to that. And she say one day over there, Mr. Golden daughter not the bench. What the hell is going? Bro, I gotta find when she said that. That missed me. Wow.
Every time Jamaica is going in a wrong direction, every time you can depend on somebody to sell out Jamaica. In Jamaica, it is the JP government who the US or other countries rely on to do that. And they will do anything that serves them and forget about how it will impact the people, the everyday ordinary people. They forget that. And we cannot ignore our history and the important role that it plays in shaping how the country operates today. And that's very important.
Wow.
Peter Gay, let me thank you for taking the time.
Man, shout out to Peter Gay Ferguson, man. I'm talking about, man. Shout out to Peter Gay Ferguson. Let me find this lady she talking about. And I'm glad she mentioned it because I listened to a snippet of it while, they put it up on the PMP page. But I didn't listen to the Senate itself. So I'm scrolling through to go to that lady's part when she spoke. The senator. Because I want to hear when this lady rose to a point of order. I really want to hear that, man. That is cold-blooded. You cannot be serious. There is no way she did that. There's just no way. Nah, bro, I gotta find it. I have to find it. I just have to find it.
Senator Small questions. First significant event was introduced, may not be, and it has fiscal framework was you in particular policy forget. Then we need to sustain make. You're well before you have specific.
Ready?
No.
Make a domain we
want to scroll past this somewhere.
Pretty compact. Jamaica queerly COVID in 20 the progressive in the human world. Great financing that can play
here.
So this is Mr.
Which I welcome. However, Finance Minister affiliation.
Here with us. And even more contribution today. This is the need for faster growth. It does not provide. 2018, in fact, the Prime Minister said, it is projected in itself. It is important so that the country can understand
Mr. Cleveland Tomlinson
in the global in that regard.
The doctor and
I'm mindful of the time. So, Mr. President,
do the grace of the aid about. So from
me don't like your Dora voice, so make sure annoying. Can't listen to her. Her voice upsetting. I don't know what kind of spirit check her, but her voice upset me. She just so fake. She is so fake, it's ridiculous. Alright, so there is two Senate meetings here. One of them is this is March 27th. So there's two of them. She has to be a part of one of these. I'm gonna find it. It looks like she talked for a small amount of time. I guess she talked for like 4 minutes or something, but regardless, I should be able to see when she got up and spoke. But I am scrolling through it. Mr. Albin Hill spoke. He spoke and then did she speak after him? Alright, so Mr. Albin Hill, talk yourself. Alright, then this man that talk, Mr. Ferguson. Mr. Ferguson spoke. I went through Mr. Ferguson part. Scroll past that. Him talk for the longest, him and Cleveland Tomlinson. And then this man His father used to be PNP. You remember his name? Him talk afterwards. What's up, Lady J? How you doing? Good night, good morning, wherever you are. Alright. So then Dora talk after Cleveland, Tomlinson. She talk for long. Whoa, wait a minute. Is this them going for a break? Hold on, let me see something. So after she thought them go for a break. Alright, cool. So them go for a break, then go up on advertisement, and then them go to the next live stream. Alright, so let me go to the next live stream. So obviously this is when the lady spoke. So let me go back. So we have Tavares' son, I thought, no. Then Miss Donna Scott Motley.
There are those on my side who are deeply steeped in finance who can't understand when I get outraged and say, but the Prime Minister says National Housing Trust is a financial institution. And they kind of look at me like, duh. Well, it is. In fact, if it were being ranked with other tiers, it would be about the third largest financial institution. Its assets are stronger than the whole entire building society sector. It is a formidable institution. So why do I get upset that it's called a financial institution? In May 2022, that is how the Prime Minister described it. He says that there are some people who really want to think it is a charitable institution.
Wow.
And want it to be dedicated to social housing. And when I recall that Michael Manley was impelled to do this because he said housing is not supposed to be a privilege for the few, but a right which everybody should enjoy. Then I say, if you're going to make it into, if you're going to see through the lens of a financial institution,
you're not going to
how
do
are
the
you
job
going
of
to
it.
meet that mandate?
Exactly.
And you know what, Senator Morgan? So the whole system was changed, and now it's funded through the banks. I'm going to tell you about what happened to a client of mine. And she was really lucky that I was a lawyer. And she wasn't my client, I was a client for the vendor. And it's Maypen client, and so you kind of know everybody. And you know, you understand, there are relationships. So when she went to purchase a house, she was unemployed. And NHT was going to give her the loan. By the time she went back for the second interview, she was employed. So NHT sent her to the bank. The bank said, no, you can't qualify for this loan. So they sent her back to NHT. NHT sent her back to the bank. And in between, she had to pay for another valuation. You know how much valuation reports cost? And the agony,
Yo, she is talking about what my niece was talking about. Remember, I put out a video, I don't know if you guys watched it. It was a Thursday when I wasn't coming live, and I said I had to go and help out my fam to move. And I was live in the morning early, and she was telling me about this exact same stress that she's talking about to the client of hers. Listen, she ain't telling no lies. That's
in
a
between,
fact.
she had to pay for another valuation. You know how much valuation reports cost?
Wow.
And the agony, perhaps unintended consequences, which she had to endure, were such she almost lost a house.
Wow.
And lost all the valuation costs, the surveyor's identification report, agreement for sale costs, and so on. So you have to think things through when you are implementing a system.
Talk about it.
Let me look at my notes to tell you that in the past there was actually the Observer. Let me be clear, not the Gleaner. The Observer did an analysis of the NHT and found that in the past there would actually be an outspend on housing. Since 2023-24, contributions reached a record 56.6 billion, while housing expenditure fell to 30.2 billion.
Jamaica, Miss Senator McCarthy Thame, she did an 8-minute presentation. And for some reason, I can't find it on the JIS website, on the PBC website. For some reason, I cannot find that. That doesn't make any sense. So I am going to go to the PBC website because something is fundamentally wrong here. Let me go to the PBC website. All right? Because is it that they put out only some on the JIS website and didn't put out some? All right, so this is the Senate. So this is my, okay. All right, this is the Senate. All right, this is all the Senate. All right. She should be here then because I'm very confused as to why I'm not. Oh, Jamaica, you know what happened? So I have now discovered that the JIS website splits up the live stream and they post what they want to post. Is JIS being used by the Jamaica Labour Party as the JLP information service? Why is it that the Senator Thame portion of the JIS, the Senate, the sitting of the Senate, is not on the JIS website? I literally probed all of it, Jamaica. And Miss Thame, she speaks right after Dora the Explorer. So the first 3 hours, and you guys can go look it up for yourself, March 27th, the sitting of the Senate, and you can go on the JIS website and see it for yourself. I just discovered this a while ago. That is very interesting. Let me go back. That's very interesting. Wow. Wow. Are you serious? Isn't the Jamaica Information Service supposed to be for everybody? All right, so listen. Remember I said I didn't want to hear Dora? All right, so here's Dora.
100 smart boards and every single primary allocated.
So this is Dora, right? So after Dora finishes, right? On the JIS
I'll
website.
take after and
Let me just fast forward it a bit because like I said, she's very annoying. All right, let me just go to the last thing that she said, all right?
Mr. President, and I support this legislation and I look forward to its approval. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, so that's Dora the Explorer. Let me play it for the other one.
It's okay.
Skilled hands, empowered teachers, and a confident people. This administration is serious about Jamaica's resurgence. And Mr. President, we are serious about unleashing the potential of people. There is much more to say, and I'll definitely say more because I can't do everything today. But Mr. President, this appropriation bill is the people's bill, and I support this legislation and I look forward to its approval. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. So this is the same video, and I'm fast forwarding the video. All right, I'm fast forwarding the video, and they go for lunch. And when they come back, here is Miss Thame. In the other one, in this one over here, so now, this is the same one. This is the other one I'm fast forwarding. They are going for lunch, and then it goes to advertisement. You're there. Be an advertisement.
Media briefing. Putting periods of display.
Be advertisement.
Cause.
Right? Those are the advertisements, right? On this one now, they go for lunch. They go for lunch. It cuts. They go for lunch. And you only hear a couple advertisements. See? This is the only thing you hear. Live coverage on PBC. And then it comes back.
Resumes.
And it resumes now.
With
and see, he is there. All right. So I'm going to go to the second video because maybe I missed something. So this the part 2 of the JIS one, right? Let me play that one. As in from the beginning.
In a single year.
You see that? From the beginning, this man, Mr. You don't hear him. You don't hear him saying resume. Right here, sir.
It's already saying it now, resume.
You don't hear that on this one. On this one, the starting of it, it goes straight to his son.
In a single year, or the first STEM investment.
So all right. So we're gonna hear Miss Thame now on this one.
It's city.
I can't make this up, Jamaica. Listen to Miss Thame.
And that the world order as we knew it had changed. That he knew the present state of world affairs was troubling to most.
This is Miss Thame. This is 3 hours. The 3 hour mark on the full sum live stream. And she speaks for 8 minutes. Oh, they also cut out this man too. I don't know who he is, but he's got cut out. And then the Mr. Man from something they get cut out too. From down a Montego Bay. And next lady here, so this is who Miss what's her name? For the standard appointment of order, Golding, she get cut out. Oh, so them cut out them cut out the next PMP lady. So what is going on with J? Alright, so see this is now Mr. About 4 person get cut out on the JIS website and it goes straight to him. Is JIS promoting Tom Tavares' son or something? Why did they cut out the 2 ladies from the PMP and the gentleman from the JLP and another lady from the JLP and not put up their contribution? Why did they do that? Very interesting. So let me go back to Miss Thame because I want to hear when this lady stood up for a point of order. Very interesting. Listen to Miss Thame, ladies and gentlemen. This is a speech that I absolutely love. All right? Absolutely love.
Thing with a contribution from Senator Thame. Senator, engage your 2 mics, please.
Listen, Jamaica.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, in framing his contribution to the budget debate, the Prime Minister told the nation that the world order as we knew it had changed, that he knew the present state of world affairs was troubling to most Jamaicans, and that seeming unfairness appears to characterize the new order. But, Mr. President, when has this not been so? While he said, quote, our historic colonial experiences create an almost instinctive reflex that we will be victims in a world where raw power is dismantling the protection of a rules-based system, he seems not to have understood that even in the so-called rules-based order, people like us were never protected from raw power. The Prime Minister said he was concerned about how we were going to navigate this space and do more than just survive, but thrive, and that we must learn from our past to do so. He tried to give us a history lesson, Mr. President, but I am the teacher. Mr. President, we on this side know where we are coming from as a people. We know that colonialism and slavery brought brutal violence into our midst as a norm, made us poor, made us self-doubting, made us think deeply about what a different world built on freedom, equal rights and justice could look like. We know our ancestors looked to the mountains and knew if they could make it to the top, they would be free. In other words, they always had sight of a better world and were willing to fight for this land. We, the descendants of Africans enslaved in the Americas, know that the road is long and rough. 400 years, Mr. President, but we never get weary. We will always resist injustice. On that long road, Mr. President, there were always those who would take the side of people with power, the plantation owners, the colonizers, the imperialists. There were always those willing to sell out the struggle so they could get some power or likes for themselves. Those who Erna Bradber has told us were, quote, not uncomfortable with the myths of the master's superiority. We have to always ask ourselves, Mr. President, what side of history are we on? Jamaican people must at this time ask themselves, are they on the side of justice and equality, or are they propping up the powerful and hurting the weak? Mr. President, the PM likes to engage in revisionist history. In plain Jamaican language, him like make up things. He suggested that Michael Manley mash up Jamaica, but we must mash down that lie. And to mash it down, we must tell the truth.
The truth, Mr. President, will set us free. Let us start with the 1960s. Mr. President, the Prime Minister proudly declared that Bustamante's statement, "We are with the West," was somehow a principled one. Wasn't the West responsible for our colonization or enslavement and oppression? Weren't our brothers and sisters in Africa fighting to free themselves from the West? In the Prime Minister's optimistic reading of the stewardship of the Jamaica Labour Party in the first 10 years of independence, he said, quote, "The period between 1962 and 1972 saw political stability, the fastest pace of growth and development of the Jamaican economy and the build-out of our institutions," end quote. Mr. President, we must smash down these lies. In actuality, the fastest period of growth was in the 1950s, continued into the 60s, and it began to slow towards the end of the decade. Mr. President, you might remember the Ethiopian song, "Everything Crash." That was released in 1968, and what did they say? They said everybody was on strike, down to the policeman. They said, and what go on by the morning can't come go that evening. Poverty rose in the 60s. Urbanization surged. And between 1962 and 72, unemployment almost doubled, rising from approximately 13% to 22%. People lacked piped water. Illiteracy was at 53% in 1970. No black person could work as a teller in a bank. People lived in squalor and had little access to decent housing. Yes, this was a time of growth. But more critically for the descendants of Africans enslaved in Jamaica, it was a time of great inequality and impoverishment. The 1960s were a turbulent political period which saw black people shut out of power. In 1963, Bustamante sent the police and the army to hunt Rastafarians in what became known as Black Friday.
Yes.
They were tortured and killed, Mr. President. Bustamante banned black nationalist books, including Black Beauty. And his successor, Hugh Shearer, banned Walter Rodney for what he called bringing alien black power ideologies to Jamaica. And when the youth rose up, marching from the University of the West Indies to Jamaica House and were joined by the downtrodden along the way,
1 minute.
Shearer turned police on them.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Mr. President, I know you to be, I know you to often give us some latitude in our debates, and I acknowledge that the Speaker raised a point from Prime Minister's presentation, but I do believe she has gone far and wide. We're now in the 60s. I believe she may be coming up to the 70s. And my point about it is that it's not relevant. It's not relevant. I'm explaining the basis of my point about the Senator Scott Markey, which I'm entitled to do.
That's not for you to say what's relevant.
Wow. Oh, she is a total sellout. She gets no respect from me anymore. She literally said that. Jamaica will have to forgive me, but at this point, I have to do one recording about this. This is unbelievable. No, I cannot believe that I am hearing it. Oh, she is a house slave. She is one of them. I cannot believe she said it's not relevant. Wow. God, we are in trouble. These are the people that are in our government. Unbelievable. It start hurt me. Me start have migraine same time. What the hell is going on in our country? She actually said that? Oh, Jesus, give me strength. Lord, Father, just give me strength. That's all I ask for. Let me turn on the camera. Come on and see when I react to this. I go up on OBS right now. As a matter of fact, let's see something. I want to see what I want. No, we can't do that. That would be unfair for the persons on TikTok. Then now let you see what I want. Just leave it as is. I want to hear what me I say. I'm going to post this tomorrow. later on this morning. This is unbelievable. You guys are getting an exclusive right now. My exclusive raw react. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to know that this happened because you see, I never wanted to. This is what they call doing a research, isn't it, Jamaica? That's what this is. This is what they call doing a research because I never knew about this, and Miss Ferguson brought it to my attention, and now I have to address it based off that. All right, so let me go here, and yeah, I'll do it like this. No, yes, I'll do it like this. I'll do it like this. Right here, so go back to Miss Ferguson. Let me see. Let me see if we find the point where she spoke about it. Why am I not hearing anything? What? Alright, let me see. Oh, I understand. I understand. Alright, so the microphone is working. Oh no, I can't do that. Why am I not hearing it still? That's weird. I'm not hearing it. It should be. Technical difficulties. Did I put it on mute or something? No, I didn't. So Bluetooth should be off. Only for the shots, you know, that's what me and father.
There is a time when you hear.
Alright, so I don't know. That's kind of strange. Right, do I need this? I don't think I need that. So let me push plug this in right here. Should be a better plug to get the microphone on, and then it's the load. It's load. It's just where it's supposed to be.
It's their regular lives and want to.
Okay. Usually I would get a feedback. Jamaica, thank you for the patience, but man, let me stop this up there and play something real quick as while I am figuring this thing out. PDTV. See what was happening over there tonight.
I must get access to that extension officer. What the 264 days in the year. And 5,000 hours she have the attend to room. That means I'm not here. How can I go home now? I can't reach home. More than disaster right now. This is problem level and more than medicine. What is happening in San Antonio right now?
Residents say there was an expectation that after Hurricane Lisa, work would have been fast tracked to remove drainage in the town. And with the hurricane season 2 months away, they fear the worst.
Alright, this have contact. May I hear contact out of this? Yeah. But me I hear it, but me not hear it good. That's weird. At first me have all that problem now. Come like your speaker gone. You hear that? Alright, so what I'm gonna have to do is this, right? Tik Tok, big up on yourself, but when you not gonna hear me, I say, yeah, me I gonna switch over to OBS right now. Where's my camera? On OBS. Camera now up. You know, I have to do this. I'm sorry, but I gotta do this. This is too important. I would be remiss if I did not do this. I would beat myself up. I couldn't forgive myself. I can't let this slide, Jamaica. I can't let this slide. I really cannot. However long it takes for me to do this right now, I'm going to do it. This is treasonous. These are the people that are in our government and representing us. I cannot believe this right now. This is insane. Right? These are the what's up? Me know say when I hear me, you know. But when we do this now, the way I'm not gonna be it, I'm not gonna be able to hear me. I'm not gonna be able to hear what I listen to. You understand? So let me see if I am now hearing through my headphone properly. If I'm hearing through my headphone, it means something is wrong with the oh, so I'm still not here. Oh. Alright, so I need a new microphone. I need a new microphone, obviously. I need a new microphone. Something is wrong with right here saying so the microphone. Yeah, man. Something wrong. Oh. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. We need some equipment still, because I'm not hear so good. And normally, I would hear it better than that. It would be loud in my ears. So something is definitely wrong with the headphone itself. So we need a new headphone. Alright, so let me just test something real quick. We go to the microphone. And this is why I'm not really use my microphone often again, because there's always something. I need some new equipment. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Can you hear me? Yo. Alright, cool. Let me see. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Let me see how that recording sounds to make sure that my audio is crisp. Okay, my audio is good. So alright, so we can use it. Alright, so let me switch over to OBS for my my people here on YouTube. YouTube, I'm going to OBS. Alright, so YouTube, if you guys are hearing me, please let me know right now if you are hearing me. If you're hearing me clearly on YouTube, please let me know. Alright, sound check. Let me know in the comment section if you're hearing me, guys. Are you hearing me? Hello. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Nobody's answering me on YouTube. YouTube, can you hear me? You know, so TikTok I hear me fine coming up on my phone. Look like everybody fall asleep on the YouTube. Well, I'm not checking myself. Let me go check it myself right now. Loud and clear. Alright, thank you, Richard, for that. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. Alright, so let me just take off these things off the screen. All of it. The picture. My picture. Because I'm going to use the full screen for this one. For this reaction. Take that off. Let me take off my picture. Perfect. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's the brother Bolo VNR. We in this space again. Alright. I have to go here, Jamaica. I want you guys to hear this. Make sure that you guys go ahead and subscribe to the Colin Webb Show. All right, please and thank you. All right, Miss Peter Gay Ferguson brought something to my attention that I simply cannot ignore, and I have to probe. So let's listen to this, Jamaica. Let's listen to this.
The Prime Minister.
This is where I can say the opposition People's National Party is always at the forefront of these matters when they arise. They take it to the parliament. They address the matters. You see with the press releases, you see the press conferences, articles are being written. And so there is work being done. But what I notice with Jamaican people, I don't know what it is. There seems to be this thing where, oh, it's the opposition. Them just always opposing. But at the end of the day, it is not only the opposition's job to oppose. It's for every well-thinking and decent Jamaican to take public persons who hold public office to task in ensuring that we all keep them accountable. So it can't only be the PNP who needs to be talking about it in the parliament or outside of the parliament. We too have to take some amount of interest. And when we hear these conversations, we have to read beyond the headlines to ensure that we have the full facts, we know what is happening, and we even do some investigation for our own selves so we can become affair with what is actually taking space within the public domain and be able to comment in a real way on those matters. And I know you didn't really ask, but I want to say one thing, and is that we ought to, as Jamaicans, we ought to pay closer attention. I know it is very difficult for people to balance their regular lives and want to take interest in, public matters, but I want to encourage us as Jamaicans to actually become a little bit more interested in national affairs, because these things do affect the quality of life that we live in the country. It affects the level of healthcare that people have access to in the public sector, the quality education that is being delivered in schools. It affects all those things. And Friday, I was listening to the sitting of the Senate while Senator Maziki Thame was speaking, and she was talking about history and how the JP always distorts history to suit their narrative and leaving out important aspects of it that really matters. And I saw Senator Gordon on the other side stood up in the parliament and commented on a point of order to say that the history is not relevant in this case. And I was like, how can you say that? Our history is so important. It shapes how we are today, and you cannot take out the parts that show that every time Jamaica is going in a wrong direction, every time you can depend on somebody to sell out Jamaica. In Jamaica, it is the JP government who the US or other countries rely on to do that, and they will do anything that serves them and forget about how it will impact the people, the everyday ordinary people. They forget that, and we cannot ignore our history and the important role that it plays in shaping how the country operates today, and that's very important.
Peter.
So ladies and gentlemen, I played that clip for context because I did not know that this actually occurred. So that's Portland Spice TV. Make sure you guys go over there and subscribe, right? So I went to the BBC Jamaica to get the full clippings. That's the only way I can get the full clippings of the March 27th, 2026 Senate sitting. And that's what she's referencing. Here is Miss Thame, ladies and gentlemen, right now speaking. And then you'll see the context where, because I want you to get the full context to what she was referencing, that Mr. Golding's daughter rose to a point of order for. In case you missed it, let's listen to this. This is shameful, Jamaica. Let's listen to this.
He told the nation that the world order as we knew it had changed, that he knew the present state of world affairs was troubling to most Jamaicans, and that seeming unfairness appears to characterize the new order. But Mr. President, when has this not been so? While he said, quote, "Our historic colonial experiences create an almost instinctive reflex that we will be victims in a world where raw power is dismantling the protection of a rules-based system," he seems not to have understood that even in the so-called rules-based order, people like us were never protected from raw power. The Prime Minister said he was concerned about how we were going to navigate this space and do more than just survive, but thrive, and that we must learn from our past to do so. He tried to give us a history lesson, Mr. President, but I am the teacher.
Mr. President, we on this side know where we are coming from as a people. We know that colonialism and slavery brought brutal violence into our midst as a norm, made us poor, made us self-doubting, made us think deeply about what a different world built on freedom, equal rights, and justice could look like. We know our ancestors looked to the mountains and knew if they could make it to the top, they would be free. In other words, they always had sight of a better world and were willing to fight for this land. We, the descendants of Africans enslaved in the Americas, know that the road is long and rough. 400 years, Mr. President, but we never get weary. We will always resist injustice. On that long road, Mr. President, there were always those who would take the side of people with power, the plantation owners, the colonizers, the imperialists. There were always those willing to sell out the struggle so they could get some power or likes for themselves. Those who Erna Bradford has told us were, quote, not uncomfortable with the myths of the master's superiority. We have to always ask ourselves, Mr. President, what side of history are we on? Jamaican people must at this time ask themselves, are they on the side of justice and equality, or are they propping up the powerful and hurting the weak? Mr. President, the PM likes to engage in revisionist history. In plain Jamaican language, him like make up things. Michael Manley mash up Jamaica, but we must mash down that lie. And to mash it down, we must tell the truth. The truth, Mr. President, will set us free. Let us start with the 1960s. Mr. President, the Prime Minister proudly declared that Bustamante's statement, "We are with the West," was somehow a principled one. Wasn't the West responsible for our colonization, our enslavement and oppression? Weren't our brothers and sisters in Africa fighting to free themselves from the West? In the Prime Minister's optimistic reading of the stewardship of the Jamaica Labour Party in the first 10 years of independence, he said, quote, "The period between 1962 and 1972 saw political stability, the fastest pace of growth and development of the Jamaican economy and the build-out of our institutions," end quote. Mr. President, we must smash down these lies. In actuality, the fastest period of growth was in the 1950s, continued into the 60s, and it began to slow towards the end of the decade. Mr. President, you might remember the Ethiopian song, "Everything Crash"? That was released in 1968, and what did they say? They said everybody was on strike, down to the policeman. They said, and what one by the morning can't come go that evening. Poverty rose in the 60s. Urbanization surged. And between 1962 and 72, unemployment almost doubled, rising from approximately 13% to 22%. People lacked piped water. Illiteracy was at 53% in 1970. No black person could work as a teller in a bank. People lived in squalor and had little access to decent housing. Yes, this was a time of growth. But more critically for the descendants of Africans enslaved in Jamaica, it was a time of great inequality and impoverishment. The 1960s were a turbulent political period which saw black people shut out of power. In 1963, Bustamante sent the police and the army to hunt Rastafarians in what became known as Bad Friday. They were tortured and killed, Mr. President. Bustamante banned black nationalist books, including Black Beauty. And his successor, Hugh Shearer, banned Walter Wardney for what he called bringing alien black power ideologies to Jamaica. And when the youth rose up, marching from the University of the West Indies to Jamaica House and were joined by the downtrodden along the way, Shearer turned the police on them.
1 minute.
Mr. President, I know you to be, I know you to often give us some latitude in our debates, and I acknowledge that the Speaker raised a point from Prime Minister's presentation, but I do believe she has gone far and wide We're now in the 60s. I believe she may be coming up to the 70s. And my point of order is it's not relevant. It's not relevant. I'm explaining the basis of my point of order, Senator Scott Martley, which I'm entitled to do.
Frame the budget debate.
Senator Scott Martley, which I'm entitled to.
I want to make sure that you guys are hearing me. You guys are hearing me. Wonderful. Let me bring her up, Jamaica. Let me bring her up on the screen because I'm gonna play the rest of the lady's speech, you know, but we have to deal with this. Miss Golding, not only did your father bring shame to the Jamaican government's reputation with the handling of the Tivoli Garden incursion, he brought shame to his handling of that situation to the point where he had to force to resign. Now you have come here and brought a point of order to Miss Thame. That is pretty much, how would I put it, correcting the disingenuous and dishonest framework laid out in Andrew Owen's budget speech that wanted to blame the entire economical situation of the Jamaican people on the fact that Mr. Michael Manley, stood on his feet and didn't crawl on his belly where the slave masters are concerned, providing context to the lies that Andrew Ones told in his budget speech. And you stood up on a point of order to say that that context where our history is concerned economically tied in with our experience from the slave masters is irrelevant. Ma'am, you should be ashamed of yourself. As a grown woman, you would think that you would have learned from your father's mistakes, but here you are embarrassing your family again, and this is an embarrassment. I am now labeling you not a Tutsi, but you are. This was a treasonous stand of order. Whatever they want to call it, a point of order. This was treasonous to the black struggle. Right? This was you should have never got up. The reality is that because it looked bad on the JLP, yes, but you can't save them. You tried to take a bullet that was not a bullet. You tried to get up here to defend the Jamaica Labour Party because you don't want to hear the truth about the treasonous acts against humanity, the Jamaican people, that the Jamaica Labour Party has committed. The Coral Garden incident, bringing the Rasta them dead or alive. The point of the matter is, the reason why the Jamaica Labour Party is so easy to sell us out to the slave masters is because their values align with them. They are puppeteers. They are the puppets of the slave master. That is why they don't like, slave masters don't like socialists. Because socialists stand against slavery. Socialists stand against the violation, human rights violation, wherever it is. And that is one of the problems they had with Michael Manley because he was a voice that they could not. They knew because of the influence of Jamaica. They knew from early Jamaica's influence. This little island here, PJ Patterson stood and walked on his feet as well. Here you are, right? Are you that messed up in your mind as a Jamaican that you believe that you should come up on a point of order to say, no. You can't say that about the Jamaica Labour. You want to protect the reputation of the Jamaica Labour Party so bad that you destroy your own personal reputation where well-thinking Jamaicans are concerned that actually know history. You should be ashamed of yourself. But then again, the shame tree dead at Belmont Road. You know? This is probably the lowest of the low. You are top 10 lowest of the low where a Jamaica Labour Party representative is concerned. Because what that lady is talking about is facts. And she was not the one that went back to the 1960s. Andrew Honest did. So in a debate, you're supposed to do what? Provide the evidence and the context to show in the debate that the man is wrong. And that's exactly what she's doing. But you said that the history is irrelevant. I think if there was ever a time when something is relevant, you know how they say in America when they say you blacklist somebody, like what's the word? What's the terminology they use? You know when the colorful community said you're no longer, what's the terminology I'm looking for? You're no longer relevant. They're not going to support you because of your views. I believe at this point in time, every single well-thinking Jamaican should shun Bruce Golding and his daughter. They should not be relevant. They cannot be taken seriously where our politics is concerned. These are the type of people that sell out the slaves because of their mentality towards the slave master. There's just no way she just said that a while ago. I had to come on here and look at it myself to believe that she said it. And I didn't believe that Peter Gay was telling a lie, but I had to make sure 100%. If there was even a 0.5% of doubt, I had to eliminate it because it was so egregious. The statement and the allegation from Peter Gay Ferguson. And I see why she brought it up. And I'm glad she brought it up. And I'm going to go further in this reaction. I'm going to continue hearing the speech of Miss Thame, because what she said is supremely important for the young people and the people that don't know their history to know their history and understand who are the sellouts. The Jamaica Labour Party has always been the sellouts. Let's continue.
That's not for you to say. That's not for you to say what's relevant. Not for you to say that. Continue.
It was the 1960s, Mr. President, when the then Minister of Development, Edward Seaga, built housing in West Kingston for his people. And to do so, he bulldozed the shacks in the shanties, burned them to the ground, and sent the police to take children away from their parents after they had been forced to sleep in Maypen Cemetery and on the sidewalks. The irony, Mr. President, is that the beneficiaries of this displacement and violence who loyally defended the Jamaica Labour Party under garrison politics would later become victims of state violence. We cannot forget the 2010 Tivoli incursion, Mr. President.
That is context. That is important. That is important. The protection of our people from our government officials where their best interest lies is important. So the argument that Andrew Honest was making is that the PNP doesn't do that. But that's a lie. The PNP are the ones that do it. The government of Jamaica, the present government under Andrew Honest-led government, historically, they have committed treason against the people. Historically, with decisions that they have made. Do we know the secret meeting between Andrew and the Israel yet? What was signed or what was spoken about? The secret meeting? Was that another treasonous action by Andrew Honest? Why did Andrew Honest come to us? When did he come to us and said he's asking for forgiveness? When was that? Let me go. Hold on there, Jamaica. Hold on. Let me find that. Let me pause this reaction for a second. Let me find that. Let's not forget. Let us remember. Alright? We don't want to forget these things. These things are very important. Not true? Because it seems like people have some memory loss. You know what I mean? Yeah, look like them have memory loss. So let's refresh their memory. Alright? Because I don't understand how this lady can step up here and talk about, oh, that is irrelevant. What? No, man, she out of line, man. She out of line. It shouldn't be this far, you know. It should not be this far. It should be at the top. When he apologize. Oh, I know where it is. It is in my evidence log. Yes. It's in my evidence log, guys. Let me go to my evidence log real quick. Go to my evidence log, my evidence playlist. My evidence playlist is open, so you guys can go there if you like and go check out those videos, the videos that I deem to be extremely important. Alright, let me scroll. There's a lot of videos here. I believe it's closer to the bottom than it is to the top. All types of videos there. Let me see. Oh, here we go.
Lord God and eternal Father, I come acknowledging that we have sinned against the people of Jamaica. Lord God and eternal Father, I come acknowledging that we have sinned against the people of Jamaica. We have sinned against our fellow man. We have sinned against our family members and relatives. We have sinned against our neighbors, strangers and visitors. We have sinned against the children, the youth and the unborn. We have sinned against the poor and the weak and the elderly and the sick. We have sinned against the free and the imprisoned. We have sinned against those in the care of the state, including the children, the mentally ill, the elderly, the prisoners and others. We repent. O God, of all our sins committed against these and all persons, local and international, in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
So, that is Andrew Honest confessing of his sins. Yes? So, which other leader ever did that? Which other leader ever came out and confessed to any sins committed? Against the unborn, the future. So, was it something that happened in Israel? Why he came out and do that? I'm just asking. But there's a pattern here. Again, leading to this lady's point where JLP are the sellouts. Let's continue.
73 dead in just 3 days. 73 in just 3 days. Mr. President, does the colonial violence of the 1960s have anything to do with the violence?
Senator Thame. Yes, Senator Sinclair.
I am raising, and you did not rule on the point of order that was raised by No, he did not. No.
Senator,
I'm raising it
address me
again.
now,
I'm
please.
raising it again, Mr. President.
So here we go, that there is somebody else in the Jamaica Labour Party that is a sellout. This is a house slave. This is a house slave. Wait, this is wild. So this is a consistency within the Jamaica Labour Party. A bunch of house slaves. Let's continue.
We are here debating a bill that is referred to as an act to apply a sum out of the consolidated fund to the service of the year ending on the 31st day of March 2027. And to appropriate the sum. We have our own specific and this
From it. I'm going to ask that you specifically deal with the legislation that is before us. The history lesson, we appreciate, but you need to stick to the legislation before us. And once again, hear what I'm telling you. I'm not ruling, I'm giving you a little advice, but if you continue, I will have to make a ruling on it.
Mr. President, the Prime Minister gave us some context for the budget debate, and I thought it important to speak to the context in order to speak to the provisions within the budget. And the context is very important to understanding where we are today.
I love that. She will not be bullied. Continue to give us the context. It burned. Hey, them disgusting, Hey, I find the Jamaica Labour Party members, the MPs, the more and more I look at and watch these things, I find them they are a total disgrace, I mean, talk about sellouts. They are literally sellouts. Unbelievable.
The question is, how will your side be remembered by history? I know for sure that Michael Manley was remembered well. The data tells us so. 3 years after he died, people in this country said he was the Prime Minister who had done the most for the lot of Jamaican people. It really strikes us, and we have to ask why the Prime Minister is so concerned with Michael Manley. We would like to know why he is so concerned with Michael Manley, and one really has to wonder whether the Prime Minister bad mind Michael. We have to wonder if the Prime Minister...
We not have to wonder if he bad mind Michael Manley. He fully bad mind Michael. You understand? Didn't his father name him Michael, his middle name because of Michael? And what Michael did for the people of Jamaica?
The bad mind Michael. And I really have to say one thing, and that is that he should take his mind off of Michael so that we can talk about the present. In the 1970s, under democratic so
empty barrel, short neck, adpa. Sit down, don't just shut them out. Cause you don't have nothing to contribute. At least them do pan some standing order thing and them a try to stop the truth from coming out. But you just make up noise and run. Just shut up.
Socialism that the Prime Minister had a problem with. The Prime Minister told us I am well employed, Senator Fitz. I don't need to sing for my supper. I don't know about you.
Stop it nice, Charles. Stop it.
Hey, me love that lady. Tell him again, sing for your supper. She's well employed. She don't need this. She'll serve our country, unlike you. We come from one background where we all know why you are in the government. Sing for your supper. You are worse than a house slave. You are a house slave for the house slave. Abka Fitz ending. Yeah, I said it.
Talk too much. Stop it nice.
Senator Thame, do not be distracted. You need to just get to your point in relation to the bill before us and let's move on. Senator Sinclair, your behavior is very uncharacteristic, Or
it is very well characteristic.
You hear that? it is very well characteristic because that is how he behave. Senator Sinclair, the brother will get up and I back up the point of order. I mean, I've never rated that brother. But today, to the ground, I have no respect for none of them. I got no respect for none of them.
And you want to be president.
So let's talk about education, which the Prime Minister in the 1970s implemented. Free education to the tertiary level so that people like our current Prime Minister, who according to him started in a one-room board house, could buy a decent house without turning to scamming. And there was also Jamal, in addition to free education, that attended to the adult illiteracy that was very high in the 1970s. And that Jamal program was mobilizing people to work with those who were less educated in order to improve them. That was democratic socialism. But where are we in education today? In his budget presentation last week, the leader of opposition reminded us that, quote, a third of children leave primary school functionally illiterate and illiterate. Less than 20% of students get 5 CSEC subjects, including math and English, and only around 16% of Jamaicans achieve tertiary qualifications. It seems to me, Mr. President, that while we were going in the right direction in the 1970s, we are now on the wrong path. Breaking ground on two STEAM schools as promised by the Prime Minister will not address the gaps which currently exist, especially for those areas hard hit by Melissa and still facing high absence rates. STEAM.
Now, I love the fact that she talked about breaking ground on 2 STEM schools, because breaking ground means nothing. The school them don't build yet. And when the school actually starts, it's going to take a while to get persons to graduate from the schools to affect the workforce. So that is a pipe dream right now, especially when I look at the history of the Jamaica Labour Party, when you reference stuff like the fact that Cornwall Regional Hospital has not been sorted out yet. After years, what is the same thing going to happen with these STEM schools, where it's going to have cost overrun? Who knows? But this is the track record of the Jamaica Labour Party. Let's continue.
Is an approach to education. It doesn't need a special school, Mr. President. In fact, it should be mainstreamed within the education system. It is not a fix to an education system that does not even guarantee literacy. Why then, Mr. President, is the Prime Minister wanting to blame the challenges of Jamaica today on the 1970s when so much was achieved for working people? In Jamaica today, you talk about the NIR, you talk about macroeconomic indicators, but what do those mean for ordinary people? In the Jamaica being built by the current administration, where macroeconomics are said to be great, where by 2030 it should be the place people choose to work and build families, women are refusing to have babies. Mr. President, you would recall the Prime Minister's recent call for the diaspora to come and fill the population gap. The Health Minister, who is overseeing the destruction of public health, reports dramatic increases in substance abuse since 2016, and deaths by despair to suicide are on the rise. Hospitals have no beds, medicine, or drinking water for patients. If water was so cheap, Mr. President, why isn't it available? With all the touting of numbers about the decline in poverty, now that we have the 2023 Survey of Living Conditions, we see that whereas 8.2% of the population falls below the poverty line, another 9.5% are just above it, meaning 17.7% of the population are critically poor. The poverty line for an individual was estimated at about $5,000 per week in 2023. When compared to 2019, the growth in expenditure was less than inflation. Worse still, food consumption makes up a greater portion of poor people's spending, and food inflation was higher than overall inflation. In the world built by this administration, there are luxury apartments all about, high into the sky and way beyond the reach of the majority, the middle class included. Where is the affordable housing we were promised 10 years ago, Mr. President? Senator Hill speaks of productivity, and Senator Tomlinson You spoke to the waste of hours that people spend in traffic, and you suggested that they have blue lights to avoid it. But it's important to say that they had them installed, Mr. President. They are creating inequality in the system. Public transportation is both dangerous and inefficient. People cannot afford nutritious diets. Hotels and private individuals control the beach, and the masses of the people are denied access. The tourism minister...
Man, this lady is destroying. No, I see why they wanted to. Why did they shouldn't even have objected? Because now they made it triple worse. Now you expose that you're a sellout. Now you expose that you're a house slave, and then others, they're like Upcon, the other ones, them exposed they are a house slave of the house slave. So you know you got a house slave, right, for the master, and then you have the house slaves that the house slave is in charge of, because that house slave is a supervisor. Man, listen, you got house slaves and house slaves in charge of other house slaves in the Jamaica Labour Party. That is wild. Let's continue.
Has consistently boasted about the success of tourism, yet tourism workers have had to take to the streets in recent times to secure improved wages and working conditions. They are mainly non-unionized contract workers subject to the vulnerabilities of the sector to external shocks, including natural disasters. How does this...
Man, even Edmund Barley, the entire government is getting discharged with this lady's speech. Play that back. Sheesh.
Times to secure improved wages and working conditions. They are mainly non-unionized contract workers subject to the vulnerabilities of the sector to external shocks, including natural disasters. How does this budget fix these problems? It doesn't even start, Mr. President. Mr. President, the government's Melissa rebuilding plans do not inspire confidence that things will be changed in the interest of the people. Though the Prime Minister reiterated the PNP's manifesto call to broaden the economic base, his flagship projects spoke mainly of expanding tourism and highways to get tourists across the island. Relatedly, Mr. President, the Prime Minister framed the conflict around beach access as a planning issue. But this is not a planning issue. It is about the structure of the economy and society which the administration intends to intensify. This administration has overseen the accelerated privatization of coastal lands, and the Prime Minister last week told us of plans to expand that tourism model in the so-called resurgence after Melissa. Those plans...
She's not lying. Go and look at his budget speech. It's more of the things that people are protesting about, access to beaches. So they're going to privatize more of the coast. It's going to be one brick prison. If you can't pay to go in those hotels, you won't be able to. And you won't be able to access the beach because them have fence and wall and everything. They are sellouts, Jamaica. Them are house slave. The Jamaica Labour Party is a bunch of house slaves. Puppet for the puppet master. Period. This lady is destroying this whole entire government with this one speech. Facts.
Do not give confidence that the table beach access policy will actually expand access. When the PM spoke of Black River, and it has been mentioned here this morning, Mr. President, I found it most fantastical. He extolled the Georgian wooden houses along its waterfront, the masonry, mercantile buildings, the civic structures of the sea, which he said all spoke to a town of character, history, and dignity. Dignity, Mr. President? The landscape was littered with relics from slavery, and now we are meant to imagine it as a place of boutique hotels and restaurants. What is a place for locals in the town, Mr. President? Will they serve as at these restaurants and hotels? Has the government asked the people if this is what they want for their town? Will Black River become an apartheid space? We have been promised an export port in St. Thomas and the expansion of Kingston Freeport Terminal, but what about the export products? How will Jamaica improve its export capacity for the future? Mr. President, once again...
Boy, she had this trial Albin Hill. No wonder film panties in a bunch and him can't sit down.
And I suspect history will not be on the side of this administration. We are already seeing the effects of the JLP's rule in the form of apathy. Under this administration, we have seen the worst voter turnouts in Jamaica's electoral history. We have since...
Man, this, oh my God, she is on point. Lord, I'm sorry to stop this every minute. I didn't mean for this reaction to be so long. I'm supposed to be going to my bed long time, Jamaica, but I'm here burning the midnight oil. If you come across this video, I'm asking you, like and share the video. Please get this content out there. You guys need to go and rewatch this lady's full speech, right? On BBC Jamaica. Yo.
2020 effectively had a government in power with a minority administration. We have seen the worst voter turnouts in Jamaica's electoral history. We have, since 2020, effectively had a government in power with a minority of the population having voted to bring them there, and you celebrate. Civil society is in decline. People are afraid to speak against wrongs committed by the state. When they do, they are called terrorists or bad mind. It is not only people who are attacked, so too our institutions that uphold democracy, such as the Integrity Commission. Mr. President.
Man, oh God, this lady is covering all the bases. This is Miss Maziki Thame. Alright? Somebody just asked me, who is this lady? Yo, yeah, I'm telling y'all, man, y'all better not sleep on this lady. She's my new favorite senator. Let me go and show you what time it is, man. Let me get her exact name. No disrespect, I gotta get her exact name, bruh. Oh man, I gotta get her exact name. Wait a minute. Hold on. PNP, right here. Let me go down. Let me get her name, y'all. Ooh, scroll down faster. Okay, all right. So yeah, all right. No, I have to scroll down faster. Come on. I think her name is Maziki. Sound like she have an African name. Maziki Thame. So that's Mrs. Donna Scott Motley. Should be right here. Here she is. Her name is Maziki Thame. See her name there, right? So Maziki Thame. That's her name. Alright? Yeah, man. Shout out to her. Let's continue. Wow.
The Prime Minister has a mega ministry. It is not only people who are attacked, so too our institutions that uphold democracy, such as the Integrity Commission. Mr. President, the Prime Minister has a mega ministry under him, effectively giving him more power than seen before in Jamaica's democracy. Several times the opposition has had to take the government to court to respect the constitutional provisions of this land.
Yo, the NITs, come on, man. Several times they have had to take them to court because they have violated our constitutional rights. Man, shut up, man. Listen, bro, I gotta give this lady an early applause. I'm sorry, man. This lady is dope. I like this lady, bro. I like this lady. This lady's a superwoman over here, and she got everybody lying on the floor. There's nobody in the Jamaica Labour Party that can stand up. The darts of truth are piercing their hearts and their minds, and they can't do nothing about it.
And as I listened to the Prime Minister's blast of acronyms related to Melissa Reconstruction, the one called FAST especially raised concerns about accountability and transparency in government. He said FAST will allow the government to engage with unsolicited proposals from investors. Would Market Me have fallen under this category?
Embarrassing. He needs some milk.
Damn. Yo, this lady is not taking no prisoners. What a question. Oh my God.
I say to the people of Jamaica, we have seen the government's approach to governance over the last 10 years, and now more than ever, it is on all of us to be vigilant in giving oversight to government actions. We have been here.
Yo, listen, you know what you said about FAST a while ago? I'm gonna give myself a plug. I'm gonna recommend you guys watch a video that I just put out if you haven't watched it already. Seen on my YouTube page. Ladies and gentlemen, Let me just zoom it up for now. You see this video? You see this video? This video speaks directly. That video speaks directly about direct contracts. See the title of the video there, Jamaica, the truth exposed. I want to make sure so you go watch that video there. If you don't watch it, it's a 15-minute video. I'm not going to play it now because the reaction has gone far beyond what I think I'm going to do. But just I recommend you go watch that video there on my page. Alright, let's continue. My Tika, this lady is a superwoman.
Hearing how Jamaica has more than ever, it is on all of us to be vigilant in giving oversight to government actions. We have been hearing how Jamaica has built one of the most credible macroeconomic frameworks in the developing world. In other words, we might now claim ourselves to be poster boys of the international financial system historically set up to favor the rich. It is this credibility the Prime Minister said that secured $6.7 billion in financing after Melissa. How much of this promised package has materialized? The government sent a big delegation to Panama at the end of January to attend CAF's conference. What is the status of the $1 billion loan from CAF? Senator Hill told us that the president of CAF was his friend, and all we had to do was pay to upgrade our membership to get the loan. Well, how is that going, Senator Hill? I am not misquoting you. I am not misquoting you. Senator Duncan this morning expressed concern about public sector wages in the budget, but debt payment takes up a significant portion of the budget. It is the second largest item at $379 billion, or a quarter of the budget. Multilateral and bilateral loans account for 28% of total debt. Mr. President, why haven't we used the credibility the government says we have in the international community to secure debt relief after the passage of Melissa? We are often told how unprecedented the storm was. It means, therefore, that we should rethink things like the commitment to debt to GDP ratio of 60% in the near future. Mr. President, to quote the Prime Minister, debt servicing has come at tremendous socio-economic cost to our populations, which have borne the burden of steep cuts in public expenditures. Mr. President, the Prime Minister is on record many times calling for the redesign of an international financial architecture that he says is, quote, fundamentally flawed, which unfairly penalizes countries like Jamaica with high borrowing costs while ignoring our vulnerabilities. Is it now the time to call for more justice, as Michael Manley did with the call for the new international economic order? Mr. President, the Prime Minister claims his administration's foreign policy serves our economic interests. He told us that foreign policy is about having a clear framework of principles and values. But what are these principles and values guiding us, and whose interests do they serve? We see it in the naming of Professor Peter Blair Henry, in that he is a fellow at the most conservative and Republican-affiliated Hoover institution. What will more neoliberal thinking or trickle-down economics mean for ordinary people in this country? Our mission on this side is to serve the many, not the few. And we know that real transformation, indeed, decolonization, is needed to achieve development. Mr. President, the leader of the opposition's proposals on climate reparations are critical to consider, both as a way to advocate for ourselves in the world and a way to rethink our society. Global discourses of climate reparations have not left out the need for debt relief. Climate reparations should also be thought of in terms of local inequalities, climate-friendly futures, righting historical injustices, and gender justice that alters the power relations between men and women. We must very carefully consider the forms of repair we should seek, given our history and now after Melissa. Mr. President, you know how the Prime Minister's speech, and we've heard it repeated here this morning, was titled From Resilience to Resurgence. I think we should question the premise. Jamaican people, women especially, know this resilience argument well. It tells them to go and hold the fort because they're tough. When you can't take licks, when you're resilient. It hides our burdens. The Prime Minister said resilience is...
Yo, I love this, man. Bro, I am in love with this lady. Oh my God. That is the full context of the speech. You are resilient, Jamaica. Continue to take sufferation because Andrew Onus is the perfect old slave. We continue to work this. The where you call it the field slave. When you go and pick cotton on the blouse and skirt in the plantation. All I want to work in the healthcare system when I get more money. All I want to teacher when I get no more money. All I want to work in the hotel industry. When you go and take a little bit of pay and go and suffer while the big wigs they make billions of dollars. Yes, man. Continue to be a good field slave. Don't rebel. Mighty God.
It's defensive. It tells them to go and hold the fort because it's tough. When you can't take licks, you know the president. You know how the Prime Minister's speech, and we've heard it repeated here this morning, was titled From Resilience to Resurgence. I think we should question the premise. Jamaican people, women especially, know this resilience argument well. It tells them to go and hold the fort because it's tough. When you can't take licks, when you're resilient, it hides our burdens. The Prime Minister said resilience is defensive. It is a capacity to absorb a blow and remain standing. Resurgence is forward-leaning, he said. Isn't it time, Mr. President, to seek to build a world where people, women, are not taking blows? We should ask the people of Jamaica what kind of future they want to lean into. And we must be clear, a nation is not built with concrete, Mr. President. When do we get to focus on repair of a different nature? When do we build back differently? When do we hear a Prime Minister speak of care work as a building block of this nation? The teachers, nurses, doctors, mothers who do caring work, those who feed us should be at the center of our agendas. Over and over in budget debates and in the public, this side has called for the government to provide cushioning to the people. The Minister of Finance closed the debate by saying this budget is designed to build a caring economy, a compassionate one. Clearly, this was just a soundbite having nothing to do with reality.
Yes. Clearly. She ain't never tell a lie, boy. Listen.
Time come to speak of and build human security instead of war on this and that. To rethink tourism dependence and expand the economic base through seriously investing in education by fixing the basics and engendering creativity. Moving agriculture to agro-processing and towards food security. Using indigenous knowledge of plants to make medicines. Building on the creative output of our people, expanding renewable energy and mobilizing the nation around values of respect, care, brotherhood, and sisterhood. If it please you, Mr. President.
Man, shout out to this lady, man. Shout out to Miss Maziki. Miss Maziki, Thame. Wow. Shout out to Miss Maziki Thame, y'all. Tell you now, man, this lady right here, boy, she got all my respect. Every bit of it. Yo. Y'all make sure you go support this lady anytime she's in the anytime she's sitting in the Senate. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and support this lady. Make sure y'all start listening to this lady. Alright? And I have to do a part 2. I have to do a live stream about this speech alone. Although this was long, I really have to dive deeper into the things that she said. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen. The house slaves have exposed themselves. It's not only Mr. Golding's daughter and the next brother that exposed himself. No, all of them was over there trying to disturb this lady's speech. Because why? She was hitting every single nail in the coffin of the Jamaica Labour Party, where their historical reputation and their present reputation is concerned in holding down the people of Jamaica and holding down Jamaica where progress is concerned. Real progress for all, not just a few bigwigs, not just the PSOJs and all the other families out there that have a name already and already rich. And the private investors, no, the regular man, the regular man that pays the taxes that run this country. It's time for our partner draw, and we need to get rid of, and I'm praying that God remove all of these old slaves out of parliament. I want to big up on yourself, tell me what you think about that in the comment section. People upon the live, make on my bed. That is it for me. I'm going to post this video around 9 a.m. in the morning. Alright, so I'm gonna load up, make my thumbnail and all of them something there. God bless this lady. This lady, I definitely gotta do a whole live stream about this speech. I'm definitely gonna come back to this. Alright, make sure you subscribe, click the notification bell and click all if you haven't already. This is Brother Bolo VNR, and I have to say thank you to each and every one of you for sticking around. Nobody helped me with the live goal. Nick, sweet one, what you're doing, but we still appreciate so to stay here with me and rock out with me to the end. All 89 of you on YouTube, all 52 of you on TikTok. Thanks again. God bless you, and you guys have yourselves a wonderful night. All right, peace out.